Okay, let's make sure everyone can hear me alrighty. Okay. Yep. 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 And let's boot up that one thing that I'm supposed to have because reasons. It's been a very long day, ladies and gentlemen. Can you tell already? Shh. My phone made a noise. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the cocktail hour stream. I'm very tired. I had a long day at work. After a long week of work, why can't I launch another window? Apparently, in the amount of time that it took for me to exist from last week to this week, I have become a retard. Just fine. I don't mind. Everyone has their retarded moments, but in this case, I definitely am feeling it, Mr. Krabs. You know? It's been a long week. It's been a long life. Just kidding. It's not a big deal. How is everybody this fine evening? Honestly, truly. You look a tad stressed. Do I? To be quite frank, I had a bar shift today, which was great. It was fantastic. I'll take that any day. The problem is, it was a long bar shift. This is despite the fact that technically we are in lockdown mode right now. So it's very queer lockdown mode, wherein you're allowed to go out, but you're not allowed to stay out past dark, and you're not allowed to stay indoors. You get your food and you get out and you hang out on the patio, which my bar does have. So I got to hang out behind the bar while everyone else got to leave the bar to go do their thing. The problem was the customers were like just inbound all day because it's one of the last nice days, I guess. And so that's that. Okie Native says it's either stressed or a pregnant glow. I'm not pregnant. All right. That weekly joke does not apply this week, as with any other week. Not pregnant. I know that for a fact. Where's the marinated otter? Says Zombie Teddy. That's a good question. I did only just shoot him the link 4 minutes ago, so it's entirely okay that he's a little bit late, since I was a little bit late in getting this link out there. So yeah, I got off my shift, got home, took like a 30-minute nap, and now I'm here. And tomorrow is going to be my first day off in like a bit, like official day off. Hopefully I don't do anything, but knowing me, I'm probably gonna con myself into doing something like folding the rest of the laundry or vacuuming one of the apartments, or I don't know. But we have a lot to talk about, don't we? Wikipedia snippet says, but you're glowing from radioactivity at Weebo Jones? Not radioactivity. I'm just shining because I'm so bright. I do have a bit of a headache, like right here. So be warned. If Polly doesn't come on, this will be a hour and a half long cocktail hour, because I don't know if I'll have enough to talk about or enough energy to talk about a whole bunch of stuff. But that's fine. We're allowed our little travenses. It's not even a word, but I'm making it into one. It's fine. A few brief announcements. I am working on some videos. Obviously, I'm always working on videos, but the one that I'm particularly enthused about, although I don't know if that's quite the best word to use in this instance, but the one that I'm most enthused about right now is the Johnny Depp update, because I did put out that one video 6 months ago, actually, on the 13th, 6 or 7 months ago. and it was like a complete summarization of everything that went down between Amber Heard and Johnny Depp leading up to like that date that I had it published. And that date was April 13th, 2020. That was just right when they started the court case. And now we have the actual result of the court case. So I do feel like it's due for an update since there is something to actually update you about on that front. Another one that I'm working on is an election related one. I know we're all super psyched to hear about it, but I have one of those Heath Ledger Joker takes on the situation. Because I'm at that phase in my caringness where I'm just like, let's watch the whole world burn. Not that I actually want everything to delve into a complete and utter chaotic existence, but I'm at that point where I'm just done with both parties. I'm ready to move on. I'm exhausted. It's probably part of the reason why I look like I'm exhausted is because just the sheer amount of bitch fitting back and forth has got me like, I think that's why I have a headache, because I've been eye rolling so fucking much these last couple of days since the 3rd, since all of the shenanigans started. So we'll see where this takes us. I don't have like a super strong grasp on what I want the video to be about, but at this present moment, it's going to have a heavy emphasis on exposing hypocrisy. Because as we all know, Weebo absolutely loves her hypocrites. Yay! Absolutely adores them. It's a great time. Can't get enough of it. Love it. So, who do we have in the chat? Travis Mattingly, Wikipedia snippet, W.R. Costin, The Next 6 Minutes, Simon Wilkins, How are we this fine evening? Ace Vendetta fight clips. Fifth Freedom. I see. Who else? Okie Native, Jojo. Shady Grin. What else we got? The Next 6 Minutes. Welcome to the Popcorn Club, Weaves. Yeah, that's pretty much where I am. If you've ever seen that clip of Michael Jackson just eating popcorn in his Thriller shirt or suit or jacket or whatever in the theater, that's me right now, both exhausted and excited for the memes to come. Because that's really the only way to cope with all this nonsense, isn't it? Like, to meme the fuck out of it. It's either that or take both seriously. Simon Wilson said check Twitter, so let's head over to Twitter, see what's up. I did have a conversation with my landlord about the possibility of mounting a green screen. So that is game to go through. So that's something that I will be getting up in the next couple of weeks, and I'm excited to launch some content with that. That was the one piece of yes that I needed in order to go through with some exciting, very exciting content in the coming future. Am hype. It's go time. And Simon Wilkins says that summation works. Okay, cool. Thank you for directing me to Twitter for that one, I guess. Unless, did you? No. Anyway. It's been a busy day. It's been a busy life. What can I say? Let me just... Was that? Okay, that was all. Daniel Fullman asks, did you vote? Any voting stories like the lines, did you get a sticker? I did vote, and it was... This is a giant nothing burger. There was nothing to it, really. I don't know why people were making such a big deal about, hey, stay in the lines, make sure you vote. Like, because here's the thing. I voted early. I went to a local establishment and I went in and I voted, and it took me all of like 20 seconds to go through the whole process. It wasn't a big issue for me, quite frankly. And I know who I wanted to vote for when I walked in, and I got my sticker and I walked out, and it was just like a whatever. There wasn't a line. It was super simple. But then I also did vote like 2 weeks in advance of the election. So that could have contributed to the ease with which I was voting. I heard a whole bunch of other people had a bitchin' of a time doing it. And I did see a lot of people on Twitter waxing poetic about just make sure you stay in line. Don't let this discourage you, etc., etc., etc. And that, you know, that's the thing. The other thing that I want to address regarding the election is the celebratory shenanigans coming out, right? Because I do recall one of the reasons why we opted for mail-in voting this year, one of the big reasons why that was so pushed by especially the left, was because of COVID risks, right? And I'm pretty sure if I just went and type in celebrations, Biden on the Twitter machine, it would not be hard to discover video upon video upon video of people just enjoying this. Yes, of course they're wearing masks, but this doesn't look social distancing to me, does it? There we go. That's the video that I wanted to address. That to me is and I know this is not an uncommon opinion, is it? But it does speak volumes. It says a lot. And it's greatly annoying to me. As with all of the other protests that were going on and all of the other things that were happening this year that were a direct contrast to what we've been told, which is you can't go visit your dying loved ones in hospitals because it's a risk, which was you can't let your child go to school because that's a risk, which was that you have to work remotely because it's a risk, which is that a whole bunch of people have to be out of a job for entire seasons of their prime, work season because it's a risk, because it's a COVID risk. You might get someone sick, or someone might get sick from you, or you might get sick yourself, and we can't have that. So no, you cannot host a funeral for your dead grandma who passed away this year. No, you cannot enter into the hospital. No, you cannot open up your restaurants. Sorry. I don't care. It sucks that you're going out of business now. It sucks that you won't be able to hold your dying father's hand as he passes from this life. But this is perfectly acceptable. The protests were perfectly acceptable. As I said, love hypocrisy. It's my favorite thing to dwell on in this life. And for some reason, here's the other thing, too, that really grinds my giblets when it is that I point out hypocrisy. It's automatically assumed as like a siding with the other side. No, that's not necessarily what it is. All right? It's not. It's a matter of principle. If you don't stick to your guns, why should we let you have them? Which was not me saying, hey, we should take away your guns. It's me saying, stick to your guns. It really pisses me off. And then there's the whole aspect surrounding voter fraud. No one knows for certain whether or not there was actual voter fraud. All right, we're going to need an extensive investigation to determine if that is the case or not. And then even after that, whether or not that would have tipped the balance of the election is not up to us. It's up to a court of law. I'm like 99% sure on that. But even so, the people calling for it are the same people that made fun of the whole Trump-Russia investigation. Contrarily, the people who are making fun of the voter fraud people are the people that made such a stink about Trump-Russia. So it's very interesting. It's very, very interesting to me. And it's probably not going to win me any friends in any capacity who feel strongly either way. But if you don't have someone there to point out when you're being a doofus, then you're just being a doofus without being called on it. And sorry, but those aren't your friends. Yeah, that's my 2 cents. And that's a great deal of what it is that I want to talk about in my election video, which, like I said, I don't have a super strong grasp on what I want it to be about, but hypocrisy seems to be the theme that I'm settling on very vehemently regarding that. So I'm collecting materials for specifically such a video as we speak, in addition to the update video. So there's that. You're fine. Let's see. Any Halloween celebrations? So, my Halloween was super low-key this year. What I ended up doing was I had a friend over, and we had some snacks, and we watched a whole bunch of Halloween Tim Burton-esque movies, and it was a great time. And this is the same friend that I went trick-or-treating with during college. So we carried on that tradition, even though we couldn't carry on the trick-or-treating tradition, the tradition of being together. It was a good time. We had a lot of fun. And that was right before I came on stream with Polly last week. So that was my Halloween celebrations. Nothing super extra, because I'm not super extra. Not like that anyway. Am I going to have a cocktail? Says Trevor. It asks Travis Mattingly. Maybe not right now. Maybe later. I'm still getting over my headache from work, so I don't know if that would improve the situation at this point. But I did come up with a really good shot. So, it's I don't have a name for it yet. We're working on it. But essentially it's 1 part rum chata, 1 part caramel vodka, and 1 part Screwball, which is a peanut butter whiskey. You just mix all that together on a chill in your shaker thing, and you pour it out, and it, I guess, tastes really, really good. Like not quite a cinnamon toast crunchy shot, but it's good. And so that's what I was doing at work today. Making people shots and serving them beer. Because it's like one of the last nice days out. I got to sit outside actually during work, which was really nice. Which is a change, because usually that doesn't happen. But most of my patrons were outside, so I had to kind of socialize with them a little bit. How strong an alcohol does it take to kill the coof? 100 proof, I believe. Good luck. Enjoy. And I'm pretty sure it's one of the other types of alcohol that's not consumable safely. So, don't take that as advice. But I'm pretty sure that the coof could not survive on that surface if that had been poured onto it. Did I hear a bird in the background earlier? No, you heard El Boyfriendo sneaking into the room. Are you gonna do it, or are you just gonna torture me with it?
No.
So he could press his nut button. Thanks, babe. Appreciate it.
I'm here for you.
Yes, I'm letting him back in the room, so long as he doesn't like have a game on with friends. I feel bad. I feel really bad. But this is how I make his Christmas present money. So I'm just kidding. He can't complain too much. If he does, I'm gonna have words. Just kidding. I gotta ask, do you have any of your old games to go with that cube? Babe, this is your area.
What? Oh, yeah, no, I've got plenty that just don't have enough space.
Are they all in the other box?
Well, there's one down there right now, but I do have a lot of them over there.
Okay. Yeah, this isn't even all of the gaming stuff that we have in the household, guys. El Boyfriendo has to put it on display still. And to do that, we need another shelf. So we're working on it.
I've got the NES over there if you want to show them that.
I mean, if you want to hand it to me. Hi, Polly.
Finally. Been back here for like 15, 16 minutes.
Seconds, more like.
Oh my God, it's been so
Here you
long.
guys go. The NES. There you go. If you want, you can do like a show and tell at some point, babe.
I'm good.
He's good.
A
He doesn't
show
want
and
to.
tell.
The show and tell. He wants to show all of the boys and girls his gaming stuff.
You want a beer?
What kind of beer do I want?
We've got Coors, we've got Blue Moon, Angry Orchard, Stella.
Can I have an
Stella.
Angry Orchard?
Sure.
I don't want a Stella right now. I had Stella all week.
Hmm.
Oh, Pelly, I came up with a shot. You want to hear it?
Like a
At
drink,
work.
you mean?
Yeah, like a shot. Like a shot of
Okay.
alcohol, but it's like a mixed shot.
A mixed shot. All right.
So it is rum chata, caramel vodka, and screwball,
Okay.
which is delicious.
What does it taste like?
I mean, like a cinnamon toast crunch.
Yeah.
Did you just?
Nope.
Okay. He's gotta get me my alcohols. So what are you drinking tonight, Polly?
Right now I'm drinking an energy drink.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh gosh, that's really appley. Which shouldn't surprise me, should it?
Angry Orchard.
I know.
I don't know what you expected.
It just assaulted my taste buds. Like violently.
It wasn't me this time. So.
Anyway. So you're just drinking an energy drink? You also feeling super low energy today?
Sort of.
Yeah. Is there a reason for it, or are you just blech?
I'm just bleh. I don't know. I'm not sure why. It's just I had it, so I'm drinking it. That's all that's really going on.
Yeah, that's fair. Thank you to Oki Native for the donation. How much for El Boyfriendo to do a stream as a French maid? Babe? How much?
I feel like this is more of a question that you're asking me than him.
Yeah. If you put a price on it,
There is a number.
you open up the door.
I'll let them know once they hit the number.
Smart man. He's learned from my mistakes. One of them being the woeful occurrence where I had to watch all of the Human Centipede films. Anywho. So,
I still
Polly,
don't feel bad for you.
how do you feel about our future first ever female president, Kamala Harris?
It was
Going in strong.
Sorry, that's a loaded question.
I, for one, am happy about our new female overlord.
Yeah? Are you excited for the first ever female president? Because I am. I feel represented, even though I'm not a black woman.
Well, it's okay. Neither is she.
That's fair. I also feel like it's very progressive for sex workers to be represented as such
Yes.
by our politicians. Super psyched about that.
I'm not worried about President Kamala. Not really.
No. Neither am I.
In the sense of, I just don't buy that that'll be the sequence of events. And what I mean by that is that the smart money's on that not happening. So I'm not saying that it won't. I'm just not sticks, hex, and hammer.
I was joking.
Well, yeah.
Because I have been viewing. Yes, I want a cookie. Because I have been viewing all of those tweets and enjoying them immensely, I will say.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot of fun to be had there, but for Kamala Harris to be president, or at least, if not in name,
25th.
Excuse me.
Jesus, are you okay?
Yes, I am.
Stop dying.
Okay.
You got the Rona?
What?
You got the Rona?
No, I just went down the wrong tube.
Oh, well, stop that.
Okay.
All right. Glad we could come to an understanding. So you're saying the odds of Kamala becoming president after they invoke the 25th are very slim then? As a political scientist, that is your expert opinion.
Well, if you want my expert opinion, so-called, the historical odds don't favor it. I mean, none of us have a crystal ball, at least not one that actually works. And so it's all about historical patterns, and the historical pattern doesn't support it.
But
if you look at Reagan's second term when he was falling out, like two people come to mind: John Kennedy and Ronald Reagan. While in office, John Kennedy was a sickly man his entire life, even as a kid. By the time he had made it into office, he was early 40s. He was a very sickly man, wore a back brace most of the day, took incredibly strong opiates, and he was able to, despite his diminished condition, let's call it, like I said, he very, very much was not a healthy person, was able to be lucid the vast majority of the time, despite all the medication he was on, despite the great amount of pain that he was in, despite the drinking that he did. He was able to be very, very lucid. So, okay. And now, admittedly, he was a much younger man, but then again, Joe Biden didn't have to deal with any of the really strong drugs or beleaguered condition that John Kennedy was in. So, I mean, that's why he comes to mind. But then Reagan comes to mind, which I think is a more inapt analogy, because you have an older gentleman who's also of supposed diminished capacity, as Reagan very much seemingly was, especially in his second term, late second term. And at that point, his wife and advisors were quote unquote excellent handlers for him. It depends on, who you are, whether or not you see it as good governance. That's not the issue. It's were they good handlers of him? Yes, very much so, particularly Alexander Haig and Caspar Weinberger, staff directors, advisors, or rather chief of staffs and special advisors were very, very good cabinet level members. They basically ran policy for him. When Reagan got shot, Weinberger infamously said, "We are in control of things." After a while, that's how they began to see things, is that they were running the office. For the 25th Amendment to be worked, like for it to reach that stage, one of a couple of things is going to have to happen. Either Joe Biden is going to have to literally drop dead or end up hospitalized where he's unable to dispense his duties. He's not going to have a great series of gaffes and then suddenly go, "Oh, we need to enact the 25th Amendment." That's right out of 24, which actually literally happens twice in 24 that somebody has the 25th Amendment. Yeah. In the course of the series, twice people enact the 25th Amendment because of diminished mental capacity, supposedly. And neither of those presidents actually suffered diminished mental capacity. It's just their cabinet wanted to wrest power from them. It was a super high octane drama series, and that was the purpose of it. But that's what I mean. If one is subscribing to the idea that the 25th Amendment is going to be enacted because Joe Biden possesses diminished mental capacity to one degree or another, real or not, just to be able to put Kamala Harris in office, and he was just used as a figurehead to get her there. Well, you're subscribing to a quasi 24 level of machination, and it's not likely. It's much more likely that Joe Biden's chief of staff, special advisors, national security advisor, and secretary of state would end up running things for him while his handlers took very good care of him and only propped him up when sufficient amount of Adderall had been flowing through his blood.
So they basically weekend at Bernie's this presidency then.
Yeah, 4 years at Bernie's. Yeah, exactly. So unless the man literally drops dead or ends up in a coma or has a stroke, something extremely severe where they're unable to quote unquote handle him, and I mean that by like his handlers are able to take care of him, why would the 25th? It just doesn't hold to the historical pattern of how John Kennedy was very carefully handled, and before him FDR was in a fucking wheelchair, for Christ's sake. He was of extremely diminished capacity to the point where he had a stroke very soon into his 4th term. That's how diminished he was. His wife was an excellent handler for him. And again, when I say excellent, I want to make it clear, I'm not talking about excellence in governance. I'm just talking about being able to keep the person going, know.
Well, there is a difference between diminished physical capacity and a diminished mental capacity. I think that's worth noting. You can be in a wheelchair and still be just as bright as anybody, as opposed to someone with a very, very diminishing mental capacity who you can clearly see is falling by the wayside. There is a difference. I wouldn't have a problem with a president who's in a wheelchair so long as they could logically think through the shit. But one who isn't all there mentally, that I would have a problem with.
Well, fair enough. But now we've kind of switched subject matter. Like, how comfortable are we with a president who is in condition X? Which is a different question from, will the people around President X support their condition, be it a wheelchair or reduced mental capacity, to the point where the mainstream media will no longer follow the narrative? Do keep in mind, we're talking about a mainstream media that called any suggestion of Joe Biden's reduced mental capacity for the past 6 months a right-wing conspiracy theory and attributed it all to his stutter, his childhood stuttering problem.
A childhood stuttering problem does not...
I've never seen a stutterer mistake his sister for his wife. No.
And I've never seen a stutterer be prompted by their stutter to literally nibble on their wife's finger.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that one.
I don't know what it was, but that was the one thing that stuck out in my mind of all of the gaffes from Joe Biden. That one was the one.
That was a good one. I had forgotten about it.
Because
good.
There's nothing inherently wrong with it. It's just not. It's one of those things that you don't do in front of other people.
No,
it seems like something that they would do as a playful thing between husband and wife, but not in public to that capacity.
He did it so fast too. Like, she was just reaching out with her arms to gesture, and her head was kind of in front of his face, and he's like, "Oh look, white fingers." Nim, 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 nim. Like, oh my god, you just went right for it. It was
full turtle moment right there. You just go. Okay, but to be fair, while that was the most startling one that I can think of, it's also kind of the cutest one. I don't know.
Why can't cute be like surprise peck on the cheek from behind, not nibbling her fingers at a rally? Jesus Christ.
Well, of all the gaffes, that one was the cutest, but also the most jarring ones. If it were just that one alone in isolation, I don't think it'd be that much of an issue. I don't know if I remember saying this one, but thank you to Okinator for the donation. What odds is he giving? I have a few spare G's. And those were the odds of the 25th Amendment being invoked and Kamala Harris becoming our next overlord in lieu of...
Native is asking for odds? That's actually a good question. No one's asked me that yet. Am I giving odds? Well, like any good mob bookie, I think it would be smart to split the odds, like 25th Amendment shy of any serious physical malady striking the man, meaning hospitalized for a stroke or death, or you understand what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
25th Amendment invoked without some kind of serious physical precursor, or separate from it. We're all because then there's the separate question of all of a sudden the narrative changes to, I think Joe is crazy. It's like, wait a minute, you've been denying it this whole time. Mainstream media will go along with it as if, well, we here at CNN have been reporting this the whole time, that the president is at reduced capacity. And it's a very serious question as to whether or not the 25th Amendment should be enacted. Yeah, I would give odds on the latter, without some kind of serious physical precursor occurring. Physical occurrence first, I would say, oh, Jesus. 1 in 20. 1 in 10, 1 in 10, 1 in 20. Yeah, 1 in 20. Jesus, I'll give you the long odds. After a stroke, oh, shit, 50-50. It's a push. There's no point in taking money or offering it.
Because I don't think that I don't seriously think that it would necessarily happen. Although there has been a lot of talk about it. And I do find it hilarious.
There's lot to talk about Donald Trump conspiring with Russia and being Putin's bitch. Meanwhile, out of La La Land, back on reality where we all live.
Well, it is fun to conspiratorialize about these things. But, I think your proposition of people being handlers and other people stepping up in the cabinet tree, I think that's definitely more likely.
You know what it also necessitates? I was thinking about this. There have been examples of extremely powerful vice presidents, especially in recent memory. Of course, Dick Cheney to George Bush. So I'm going to start saying George W. Bush, because I'm going to start talking about father and son Bushes here in a second. So you have Ronald Reagan, who's a very, very, very diminished capacity. The man in one speech actually started talking about landing on a beach in a war. As personal experience, it was unmistakable. It's not like something that could be interpreted as such. That's what he was saying. He was talking about a personal life remembrance experience. It was a movie he had been in.
Dick Cheney had been in?
No, Ronald Reagan.
Oh, okay.
Like that he had lost it to that point where he was starting to, and that's common to mid-stage, later stage dementia, where you start to lose, like legitimately from your perspective, lose the ability to distinguish between stories you've been told, things that actually happened to you, and movies you've seen or books you've read. Yeah. You lose the ability, like you start to think of your own life experiences as things that you saw in movies, or things you saw in movies as your own life. And that's
when you were in a movie as actual real life.
Yeah, and I mean, God help you then, right? Because you really were acting it out, right?
You were pretending to be landing on the beaches.
Yeah, I mean, and poor bastard, right? You got to feel for him. It's just, I'm not really sure if we want this guy in the Oval Office, is what I'm saying. So, I mean, that's pretty severe, diminished capacity. Yeah. So his vice president at the time, of course, was George H.W. Bush. Very, very shrewd political man, regardless of your thoughts on him in terms of his policy or his politics globally. He's an extremely bright man, very politically shrewd. Why didn't he wrest control? If it's always that the vice president is going to do that, or it's the obvious pattern, so to speak, that the vice president's going to step up. Well, he's an extremely shrewd political operator. Well, as long as they can keep him going, it is, because it's the 25th Amendment is the nuclear button. That's as strong as it gets. Yeah. It doesn't happen a lot. Powerful Dick Cheney. Okay, Dick Cheney was an extremely powerful vice president, but he was an extremely shrewd political operator, had been in politics for decades at that point. You know what I mean? He knew how to use his position for as much authority as he possibly could, and George W. Bush was okay with it. Now let's look at Kamala and Joe. Is Kamala okay? Kamala's a mean bitch. Like she's all the things that we know that she is. I won't go into a list of it. She's vicious in terms of her, and she's has all of the signs of an authoritarian, somebody who shouldn't be given political authority or legal authority because she's going to abuse it. All the signs are there. Does she strike you as a shrewd political operator, though? What's she going to do? Bang Joe to get a job? Like, I mean,
she's already got the job,
right? Like, it's just no. If George
question,
H.W. Bush couldn't leverage his position to become president, I do not ascribe Kamala the ability to do it. Was what I'm saying.
Could it be kind of like a dry run practice, build up to an eventual full-on, full-fledged Kamala presidency? Like, I don't know, something to pre-game in order to wash away the sins of the past and be like, yeah, I might have put a whole bunch of people away for weed-related offenses in the past, but as president or as vice president, I was, integral to XYZ, PBQ, all of this jazz. And so that's why I would make a good president. Kind of like how a lot of Biden's campaigning involved a lot of what him and Obama did in their former tenure.
Mm-hmm.
Could it be like a jumping off maneuver?
Well, the amount of authority and independent authority that Vice President Harris is going to have is largely dependent on how much Cheney wants to give her. Yet, how can I put this? Cheney and Bush were like-minded. That's why Bush was not just okay, but endorsing Cheney to do what he was doing. It was, if you're extremely like-minded. Whereas you had FDR and Truman, where Truman was kept in a box, completely uninformed. Upon FDR's death is when he found out about atomic weaponry. My God. That's how, and this is the man who subsequently, of course, gave the orders for bombing to occur, right?
That was a different time, right? Wasn't the vice presidency intended originally, or at one point it was used as kind of that boxing mechanism for a political opponent that you never wanted to achieve any modicum of power in actuality?
Sure. Lots of people saw it that way.
And then it transitioned over.
Yeah, to be something else. I mean, if you want to go originally it was just nothing but a tiebreaker for the Senate and a president in holding just in case something.
Mm-hmm.
It was a continuity of power and Senate tiebreaker position. I mean, John Adams absolutely languished in the position for 8 years. Like when I say languished, like God, did he suffer because he got to do a lot of things before then. And then all of a sudden he found himself powerless and everyone telling him he was, except he was in second in command. And it's like, yeah, but that was the way the position was written. And that's the way Washington wanted it. And that's the way Congress at the time wanted it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yeah, so you're absolutely right. It did morph into something else. It's like, how much authority does the president really want you to have? If Biden and his cabinet and his advisors are able to get everything accomplished that they want accomplished without having Harris is extremely powerful, then that's what they're going to do.
Okay.
Do you know what I mean? Like, if you don't need a second person, then you're not going to empower political rivals. Very Machiavelli type thinking. Spend more time thinking about the people close to you than the people further away from you, because the close can do damage faster.
Yeah.
You really should read The Prince. I think you'd
know
like The Prince.
It's on my list of books.
Okay. All right. Shit. All right. I think you'd like the depth of realistic cynicism in it. It's like,
I probably would. You're right.
You find someone to be a deep political enemy, bring them into your team, because it's like, keep them close to you so you know what they're up to.
Friends close, enemies closer. It's right after The Art of War. Which, okay, I have no excuse because I've been reading it for 6 months now. It's a small-ass book, assuming you don't read the one with all of the commentary included in it. If you just get Sun Tzu's take, it's a very small book. I have it.
Well, that's good.
Finished it.
Okie Native says, "How can you be the age that you are and have never read The Prince?"
I know. Thank you, Doki Native, also for the donation. I'm getting plus 179. He starts or escalates a war. Oh, yay. Love it.
I get the picture of Okie Native like all over the internet taking bets, like, on Vegas sites too. It's
Yeah.
all right. I got a bet that, I the thing I don't want to take bets on, because it is the thing that concerns me first, not the most, just first. And that's Joe Biden reversing Donald Trump's executive order on critical race theory instruction at taxpayer expense to federal employees and contractors.
Oh, yeah. I don't want that.
Now, I think he's going to reverse it, not just reverse it. It is my opinion that he's going to expand it in his reversal because it's easy for him to do. It's a olive branch and salve to the more radical members of his own party and in Congress. It's something the news entertainers will love. The terms critical race theory and, white privilege and so forth that appeared in Trump's writings and orders and statements on the matter will not appear. It will consistently be called racial sensitivity training, which you could only oppose if you're some kind of racist Nazi redneck. And that's the whole point. And it'll be an expansion of federal dollars towards this is part of the healing of America after Trump's white supremacy, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, this will deepen it, sir. I realize you're too marshmallow brained and far gone to realize that, but Jesus Christ. But yeah, that is the for me personally, and there's a lot of bias in it because I was forced to take critical theory, not just critical race theory, but critical theory. Forced to study it, be tested on it, questioned on it, explain it, teach it, for God's fucking sake. Yeah. I taught critical theory very critically.
Were you given any sort of leeway regarding that? Like,
I wedged leeway. I don't know. I don't know how much license. I never really ended up pushing it one way or another, so I never came to find on any subject. So I never really came to find out what mattered and what didn't. I do remember the one time I accused a student jokingly of being a Marxist. It's as long as you put it in the right context. Like, well, it's just important to distribute money so everybody has an equal amount. And he actually said it's like the beginning of monopoly. The bank gives out the same amount of money to everyone. And I'm like, what are you, a Marxist? And I said it just like that, and it got a laugh. So I was like, good, but I wasn't kidding.
That kid was actually a Marxist, like for realsies, right?
Okay, you know what? It's for realsies.
It's better than saying legit.
Yeah, for realsies, no.
For realsies, it's the new legitimate.
Okay, it's funny you asked that. You know what I've come to realize is that one of my friends was arguing to me the other day. I think she's of the opinion that I don't understand how socialism and communism became connected, and she very much thinks that it's a product of the Trump administration, or at the very least the era of Trump, where socialism and communism became linked in people's minds. And it's like, wow, do you have a myopic view of history? Like Lenin's line, Stalin repeated it. The ultimate end of socialism is communism. That is the point, is a collectivist mind state. I am starting to think that core philosophical ideas need to be thought out and laid out, and it doesn't take you very long to get to what your position is. I think people should really be pressured on the core philosophical stance of, do you believe in equality of outcome or equality of opportunity? Because that is the key difference here.
No, I agree 100%. It's not a matter of all of the history behind these words that are politically and emotionally charged. It's a matter of what it all boils down to, what the core idea and value behind it is.
It is a philosophical stance. Like, it is a position. It's not something that you can argue purely on an empirical basis and say, see, I'm right. Ultimately, you're taking an axiomatic statement. The best good is that individuals are able to exercise personal dominion and personal direction and control their own destiny to the greatest degree that real life allows possible. Therefore, collectivism is wrong because it interferes with all of those things. So therefore, taking somebody, redistribution of wealth is not redistribution of wealth. It is, in fact, theft of wealth.
Mm-hmm.
And redistribution to those who are not willing to exert the same amount of energy in society and not willing to take risks in society that other people are. And that is a philosophical position. You shouldn't have to immediately resort to, well, Sweden and Canada and Russia and the United States and healthcare, and like everyone makes it hyper complicated policy. And no, you're gone too far too fast.
You don't overcomplicate these things.
To begin with, no, I don't think you should. I think the philosophic discussion has been left behind. Which is core worldview would be a better way to say it. Let's throw philosophy out because people start thinking of people in berets sitting around at French cafes talking about existentialism. That's not what I mean.
Personally, I think that's the primary issue in a lot of debates that people have between each other. Like internally, they feel like they're debating their core principles, but realistically, they're using hyper convoluted political shenanigans and news articles and policy ideas and what have you to argue their point in favor of their point, when it should be from the get-go this thing versus this thing, this very, very simplified version of what it is that you hold.
Amen, sister.
Not.
Yeah. What are we progressing off of?
Quite frequently.
You and the rest of you too.
I know everyone else does too. It's not just me. And I realize that it's happening as it's happening too. That I'm arguing with someone who's coming from a completely different area than I am. That we're never going to agree because we're not arguing about the same thing, because we're not even talking about the same thing at this point. We are bringing up 12 different degrees of shenanigans just to get our point across, and it's never going to get across because you're literally arguing past each other. It's annoying as fuck. But it happens all the time. I hate that it does. Before we continue on, I want to get the next 6 minutes donation out of the way so that it's not burning a hole in the back of my face. Hey there, weebs. Watch out for that blue shell. Seriously, Joanna just picked one up and your cart just took the lead. Even more seriously. Hey everyone, Weebo has a merch store that you need to check out. Oh, and by the way, 6 for 2024 for a better America. Word. Vote third party, guys. What? But yes, a lot of argumentations, and that's not even just specifically regarding the super complicated capitalism versus socialism arguments. It's for literally anything and anything and everything that you could possibly think of to have a disagreement about with someone else. The argument is on what your principles are, not on the policies or the little semantics behind all of the other things that you could possibly bring up to support your position. If that makes any sense.
It does. A hell of a lot of sense. But I mean, this is I was telling Shady, and Shady's in chat. What's up, yo? And Far's in chat too. What's up, yo?
What's up?
I can answer a question for Daniel Fulman really quickly. Polly, what parts of your Halloween party how was the parts of your Halloween party that you remember? Well, I don't remember very much of it, so that's going to be a short story, my friend. I do remember that. No, I shouldn't tell that story.
Did you wake up with actual blood all over you from having axe murdered somebody?
No, I'm displeased to say that the blood washed the Halloween blood washed very quickly off my hands. Like it, I don't know if you've ever had the kind of fake blood that starts like flaking and cracking and falling off.
Oh,
yeah, it was that kind. So that wasn't the worst part. It was that like it got on the cuffs of my dress shirt for the suit that I was wearing, and it's not coming off. So off to the dry cleaners. That shirt's gonna go.
Well, what kind of fake blood was it? Do you know? Just a Halloween store type stuff.
Got it from the party store. I don't know.
But I mean, like, what
It was-
kind
it
of
was
base
called-
was it? Is
it was
a
called
water,
vampire blood.
Oil? Is it like a cream based? Like, look, there are different types of material that they use for makeups that make them like.
It was clear. If that helps, it was
clear.
It was a very thin, clear gel.
It was a thin, clear gel. Okay. Huh. Yeah, that doesn't sound like something that would come out easily with water. It might take a little bit more.
Yeah.
Like I know with actual blood, what is it called? It comes in like one of those little brown bottles. You pour it over open wounds and it starts bubbly, fizzing. What is it called?
Ammonia?
No, it's not ammonia. It's in a brown bottle, and the reason why is because
turpentine.
No, not turpentine. Yeah. But the reason why it comes in a brown bottle as opposed to like the clear one that alcohol does is because
hydrogen peroxide.
Thank you. If you expose it to direct sunlight, it degrades the hydrogen peroxide. If you use hydrogen peroxide on actual blood on cloth, specifically cotton, it comes right out. Fun fact.
Oh. Not okay. With the details of how you know that, left to people's imagination. Thank you. Next 6 minutes for the donation. Hey, Polly, my dude, how you doing today? I'm all right.
Yeah.
Say, do me a favor and warn your co-host about the blue shell. Weebs, you've been warned. Joe Lander totally has won, and Weebs has the lead. Seriously, though, sub to Polly's channel for Noir Bar and comic curation. Oh, and 2024 for a better America.
Word. I like my campaign slogan better, though, and I did not come up with it. It was Scribelight that came up with it, but it was Lion Patriot that took the picture, and the campaign slogan is "We've a schlong way to go." Get it?
Say that again. I actually was reading chat. I missed the end of it. Sorry.
Ignores me. And this was the most important part.
I know.
We've a schlong way to go.
I
like it.
Because dicks.
Yeah, get it? Because Weebo has the biggest of dicks.
Wait. Well, just, Weebo for trans rights.
Totally. I gotta secure my trans vote, as one does.
I do like trains.
You like trains or you like trans?
Trains.
He likes trains. That guy's dead, right?
Forever in my heart. R.I.P. in peace.
You ever see ASDF, Polly, those videos?
What flavor is this? Pie flavor.
Yeah! Well, El Boyfriendo is quoting it in the background, but they're like a mini animated series on YouTube from back in the good old days. And it was literally literally just called ASDF. And it was just a collection of randomness. And one of those randomnesses was just a little guy, he's a little animated figure who goes, I like trains, and then he gets run over by a train. And it happened in like maybe 3 or 4 of the episodes. And he died in real life, it turns out, apparently. Which was big sad. It's big sad. Okie Native knows what I'm talking about. There were 13 episodes? Oh, shit. I did not know that. Yeah, there's some gems out there on the YouTube sphere that definitely cannot be made today because they're either too stupid or inappropriate or not advertiser friendly or take your pick. Whatever reason why they wouldn't be viable. Yeah, old school YouTube shorts. That's basically what that is. Golden age YouTube right there. No comment, Polly? Still reading chat and ignoring me?
Well, I was actually grabbing a copy of the original Wilhelm scream from YouTube, since you asked.
You don't have one on your desktop already?
Now, see, you may have a nut button. I want the Wilhelm button.
You want the Wilhelm button. I'm like this close to getting an actual sound pad. You know, one of the things with the actual buttons that makes the sound.
Soundboard?
Yeah, soundboard. Thanks.
You know, a person on YouTube that I know uses to great effect one of the separate USB nut. No.
No, it's not Sinatra.
No.
Oh, okay. Sorry. Continue.
I know people other than Sinatra. Weebo.
Wait, you do? You have more than two friends?
Who's the other one? Oh.
Am I not the other friend? Wow.
Yeah, this is a reversal of a conversation I had a couple days ago. I said, if a friend of mine online, they said like was it like a email pen pal, that kind of thing? I said, no, people I talk to online. I was like, you have friends online? And I'm like, this is like the complete reversal of the way that people talk to me online, where they're like, you have IRL friends? Fuck, all of y'all need to get out more. You either need to spend more time in cyberspace or off it. Anyway.
I have a good number of friends, both IRL and in URL.
Yeah.
I
I get laid. The proof's off to my left.
I do get laid. Me. Thank you very much.
Okay. Anyway, the separate cheaply had numpads, the USB plug-in to your laptop in case you don't have one. Yeah. Those work great as sound pads because they're mappable.
Yeah, I need one of those.
And one could be had for like $6 on Amazon instead of like the super fancy big button to blah blah blah.
No, I need big buttons because I have tiny fingers.
Yeah, look at Weebo with the sneer. $6. I got more money than that. Like, oh my god.
At least $10. Well, because I get to write it off my taxes. And I need to write off a certain amount this year. So.
You have Weebo Incorporated?
Not technically. No. The way that my accountant has set it up is such that I am technically a small business owner. And therefore, because I am a small business owner, I am allowed to write certain things off, like certain portions of my rent, etc., of my taxes, as a business expense, which is really nice.
Fair enough.
Mm-hmm. But I actually do need to write off a certain amount this year for reasons. So, splurging on a soundboard is within the realm of possibility. A whole $10. This is when you would intrude with some sort of comment on or smart-ass comment about X, Y, or Z thing.
I was just listening to somebody made a whole auto-tune song out of the Wilhelm scream and dubstep.
Oh my god. Guys, I'm the best co-host ever. Gets distracted very easily in the middle of talking to him.
Well, I'm not gonna lie, it's pretty catchy. Wow, it works.
Send it to me. I'm curious.
Okay, so what were the subjects I wanted to cover this evening? I remember that I had a few, though they're not coming to mind right now.
You wanted to talk about 24, obviously, which we already did.
I am one episode away from having completed the entire series on my recent
rewatch
binge watch. Yeah, except for season number 1, which I said I wasn't going to watch from the beginning.
What's wrong with season 1?
Yeah, they hadn't really found their footing yet. It's not really as fast paced. It's not really 24 yet. 24 only happens as of season 2.
Well, I guess if you've already seen it, you can go without, right?
Yeah. So I did seasons 2 through 8.5. Like technically season 9 isn't season 9. It's 24 Live Another Day, which is, it's like 24 episodes in a season because each episode is an hour for a full day. You get the idea, right? Season 9 was only 12 episodes. It was a short called 24 Live Another Day. And I've watched up to episode 11. I only have episode 12, the conclusion. And then I am done. So what lay ahead of me now is the question as to whether or not I'm going to go watch the 24 movie, 24 Redemption, which takes place in between seasons 6 and 7. There's
a movie too.
Yeah, they made, well, not theater release, but like made for TV movie.
Yeah,
it's like a 2-hour feature. I didn't watch it then because I couldn't find it. I knew how to excuse me. I knew I had a copy of it, but then I found it on an external hard drive when I was looking for a copy of a movie for quiz. There, I was able to English, and I was like, "Oh, look, there it is, 24 Redemption." I have all the other 24s on DVD. I just don't have that one on DVD. Why isn't it on one of my DVDs, Weebo?
Because you missed that one. Oversight reasons.
Right?
Yeah. You should get it.
So next, I am either going to go on to Designated Survivor, also starring Kiefer Sutherland, where he plays the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, who then becomes president after everybody else in the line of succession above him is killed.
How many people is that? Just curious.
Well, this is an actual thing that they do during the State of the Union speech and during other events where where both members of the House are going to be there. The entire cabinet is expected to be there. They take one member of the cabinet and it's decided upon. It's not always the same position, and they take them separately to an undisclosed location. So if something dramatic and drastic happens, there is still a cabinet member who has survived. And the shtick of the show is that I still don't know what happens, but presumably something absolutely catastrophic, because Kiefer Sutherland, as the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, is off to the side. That is a lot of people. Like, you could just like start
the line of succession is several layers of people.
It's past 7. Let's put it that way, because it's president, vice president, secretary, speaker of the House, Senate pro temp, Secretary of State, Secretary of the Treasury, Secretary of Homeland Security, and there's the 8. So past that, it starts like it's the secretaries as when those departments were established in chronological order, like when they were established. That's why it's Secretary of Treasury before Secretary of State. Secretary of Treasury was established first for Secretary of State, if I remember correctly.
All right. So which one was it?
Secretary of Housing and Urban Development.
That's like 13.
13. Yeah. What kills me is to say it's like, wait a minute.
President.
Right? And it's like, so wait a minute. You actually come after the Secretary of Indian Affairs, you poor bastard. Like it's.
Okay, so it goes Vice President, Speaker of House of Representatives, President pro tempore of the Senate, Secretary of State, Secretary of Treasury, Secretary of Defense, Attorney General, Secretary of Interior, Secretary of Agriculture, Secretary of Commerce, Secretary of Labor, Secretary of Health and Human Services, Secretary of Housing and Urban Development.
There you go. So pretty fucking far down the list. Yes, I forgot about Secretary of Defense. Of course, Secretary of Defense would be in there. But anyway, there's the point. And it's because it is supposed to be in chronological order. One of the funny things that George W. Bush did that nobody argued with was because the newly created Department of Homeland Security, that of course is a secretary because it's a departmental federal department. They would have been like dead last in the line of succession. So George W. Bush signs an executive order moving the Secretary of Homeland Security up in the order of succession, so they're not after the Secretary of Urban Affairs or Housing and Urban Development, Indian Affairs, and Veterans Affairs. And
Oh, Indian Affairs doesn't even make this list, and there are 17 members on this list.
Ouch!
What does it mean that Secretary of Transportation is just a line? It doesn't actually qualify as a number. Like here, let me show you what I'm looking at here. I don't know what's going on. Look at this.
Why is it highlighted grade? That's a good question.
I'm like, why is it a line? But also, why is it gray? Why is it different?
Yeah.
Maybe it has something to do with this A. Oh, Secretary of Transportation Elaine Chou is ineligible to become acting president as she is not a natural-born U.S. citizen. Okay. That makes sense. And then why is Secretary of Homeland Security also? And it's eligible if acting officers whose prior executive branch appointment requires Senate confirmation are included in the line of succession, which is unclear. Huh. This was super helpful, actually. So technically,
Somebody said
there
that's
are...
the exact story of King Ralph. Yeah, I've heard that joke before. But the like, as I understand, the shtick of the show doesn't. So that person who's put separately as the designated survivor, and Kiefer Sutherland as the Secretary of Housing and Urban Development, is watching a State of the Union speech, and then something, or address, and then something terrible happens, explosion or whatever, and this person who's like completely unprepared for the office is then like acting president, and they do, the presidential things, because it's a political thriller show rather than like a 24 action based espionage drama, and a lot of it is the investigation of what the hell happened, like the explosion or whatever the fuck that caused the death. So anyway, that it's either going to be that, or I am going to watch the one series of Rubicon over again, which if you haven't seen, I highly recommend. It's the most interesting, boring show ever.
It's the most interesting, boring show ever.
Yeah, well, it's a psychological thriller about intelligence analysts who like get caught up in some stuff, starring James Badge Dale, if anybody knows who that character is. All of the actors are extremely well chosen. It's unlike the later seasons of 24. You don't have some super hot 26-year-old model who looks completely uncredible in the role that they have them in. Like season 9 of 24, the one that I'm just about to finish off, right? It's like they have, like, I've been trying to describe this to Far, and like, Far just must think this is like just the most hokum bullshit show ever, because I'm expressing just like my issues with casting. It's like, it sounds like it's so full of shit. It's the main villains of the season are Margot and her daughter Penelope, a couple of Islamic terrorists.
What?
Yeah. It's like they're so fearful of having, like, it's Margot Al-Haramzi. She is this like radical politics girl who ended up marrying this radical jihadi and became radicalized herself, or was radicalized before she met him. And then he ends up getting killed by a drone strike, which provides her all of the additional motivation to be a high-level, very violent, very destructive terrorists against the West and all of their things, right? And but it's like, you're full of shit. You just wanted the most English-sounding like, so they hire an English actor to play her and her daughter. It's like you wanted a couple of English white ladies to be the vicious villains, and everyone they visit their terrorism upon are the peace-loving brown people. Like, the show is so transparent at what it's attempting to do. It's like, you writers are just cowards. Margot and her daughter and all of their assumptions. How do you have a show that's based in Islamic terrorism and then wanting to destroy all of London using Hellfire missiles from controlled drones? They get a hold of this device that allows them to hack into the control programs of drones that are in the sky, and they move drones towards London, and they're threatening to use Hellfire missiles to kill tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of fucking people. And their names are Al-Haramzi, and they're terrorists. Never once is the word Islamic, Islam, Allah, Allahu Akbar, jihadi, mujahideen, Al-Qaeda. None of those words are used through the entire fucking season. They just keep talking about our cause, what's right, what's necessary to do. If you want to write a show about terrorism, write a fucking show about terrorism. What's with all the pulled fucking punches and super weakness?
Yeah, Shady Green is like, forbidden language.
Right?
Yeah. And then here's an interesting question that does beg another question, or not question, statement from, that has spurred a question within me. You really don't make it sound all that great, to be honest. Yeah, Polly, are you trying to encourage us to watch this show or discourage us from making your mistake of watching the show? I want to know, because I'm getting mixed signals. You hate it? Is it a love-hate thing? Is it a hate-love thing? Is it a I love it so much, but it's so bad, oh my god.
It's the
Goes in tight.
Excuse me, I wasn't anywhere near the mute button. Sorry about that.
No,
chat.
you weren't.
Excuse me.
Shame.
I would normally I would have muted, but I didn't get there anywhere near in time. It is one of the greatest shows that's ever been on television. No, Star Trek doesn't count. Star Trek's not a television show; it's a cultural phenomenon. It is
Sure,
24 is one of my favorite shows that's ever been on television. It's fucking fantastic. Yeah, it's over the top, but intentionally so. It's not like they're not aware of what they're doing. You know what I mean? It's
okay.
Espionage, action, spy thriller ramped up to fucking 11 purposefully. They're not expecting you to buy it as realistic. It's supposed to be a thrill ride. It's like getting on a roller coaster and then getting off of it and saying, well, that wasn't like driving in a car at all.
I feel like this could be a fantastic
was it?
poly video though, where you endorse the TV show 24 to get people to watch it, but like with your own brand of endorsement.
What does that mean?
Is whatever you want it to mean. I guess it's the ambiguous endorsement where you're not sure if he wants you to watch it because he wants you to suffer like he has, or or
it's like why do I
worry of what this thing is?
So well, okay, but to answer your question, it's like I don't know, you make it hard to like. Well, I'm not talking about like, and this awesomeness happened when the awesome thing awesomed. Like, how much does somebody really want to hear that?
Of course not.
I'm pointing out the failings and the flaws in it because they're funny and there's standout bad things in a show that absolutely rocks otherwise.
Mm-hmm.
Like, why did you hire the cute blonde Aussie girl to play an American? And for the love of God, like, Weebo, you're a firearms owner. Nothing takes me out of a scene more when it comes to guns than two things. One, your gun isn't recoiling. It's so obvious you're firing fucking blanks. You weigh 90 pounds and that gun is not even moving when you're firing. It's annoying.
You telling me you expect me to believe this 90-pound actress is not getting a nosebleed from the freaking recoil of her 45 as it cocks back right into her face because she isn't holding it correctly? Are you telling me that I need to believe that?
Well, that segues very nicely into the second thing, the way that people hold their guns. When you have an actress that's not used to holding the gun, it's like, lady, you need to chuck that gun up into the web of your hand. If that were a real gun and you pulled the trigger, the thing would flip right out of your hand the way you're holding it. It's just it's a little thing, but you didn't notice it, but your brain did. When you have Kiefer Sutherland that has been trained to a certain point to holding a gun properly, it just you're not thinking about it, and you shouldn't be. It's just Jack Bauer holding a handgun. Big deal, right? When you see the actress, Kate Morgan is her name, CIA officer Kate Morgan, holding a handgun, it looks like some prissy little beauty pageant girl who just picked up a plastic toy for the first time in her life that kind of looks like a gun, and she's afraid it might go off. In other words, it looks exactly like what it is.
Are you talking perhaps about this image?
Yeah, doesn't she look like a rough and tumble, tough as nails CIA case officer?
Totally. Uh-huh.
Oh, and there's another thing. For Christ's sake, CIA case officers in foreign countries don't carry around ID that has the CIA. Like, when someone will flip open a badge, it's the two-fold billfold thing that says FBI, and it's got their badge on one side and their ID on the other with the FBI emblem and a photograph with their signature on it and all their vitals. They have those in this show, and not just this show, but lots of other shows where it's like, let me see your ID. She pulls it out. She's like, oh yeah, the CIA has badges for their case officers when they're in foreign countries. Yeah, that's right. No, they don't. They have what's called official cover. They work out of embassies and stations. The last thing they would ever want them to do is have IDs in case they left it somewhere. That would kind of fuck everything up in case they get captured and all they have to do is be searched and then they know exactly who they are. It's
these dum-dums.
Bugs me. and constantly using the phrase. Like, what kills me is they use some language where it's like they bothered to open a book or go to the Wikipedia page or something to get some proper terminology. They keep referring to the Special Activities Division, SAD, inside the CIA, and it's like, yeah, that is actually a subdivision inside the CIA. But they keep so it's like, so somebody went to the Wikipedia page or whatever. Now, in that season of 24, special activities are just the waterboarders, which isn't even close to being true. They're actually the paramilitary wing. The people who do enhanced interrogation techniques are not from SAD, but that doesn't make a difference. Who cares? The point is they bothered to look up the name, but they keep calling each other CIA agents. There are no agents at the CIA. That's the FBI.
Really?
Yeah.
I did not know that, actually.
Okay, well, here's
are they operatives? Is that what they are?
That's why I keep calling them case officers. That's what they are. They're officers. They're case officers. They handle cases, meaning people that are giving them information. That's the case,
so
right? And they're
what's
officers who handle it.
Like between a case officer and an agent, is it just in the name, or is it
in agency parlance? A lot. And here's why it matters. To call a CIA case officer an agent is a really, really insulting thing. Not just because you're comparing them to the FBI, which they are going to take it personally.
Of course, naturally.
But
I'm aware of that.
Let's say that let's say, for the sake of argument, to make the point, that a foreign intelligence officer were to approach you, Weebo, for you, like you worked at a government office somewhere, right? And a foreign intelligence officer were to approach you to steal information or to just tell them about what's going on or whatever. You would be their agent.
Okay.
You are a spy. The people who run spies are not agents. The spies are the people that are traitors selling out their own country.
Okay.
The people handing over information are the spies. They're the ones doing the spying. So when you talk about the spies at the CIA, that would mean the CIA is full of traitors, is what you're saying. Like, with that language. That's how they employ those terms. And again, this is secret inside information. Anybody who bothers to look into it for 2 seconds is going to come across this.
Well, if you bother to look into it, would a normie like myself know to determine if there is a difference between what FBI are called versus what CIA are called in terms of the individual? Like, that question would have never occurred to me, because it never would have been a thing that I would have even considered mattered. Like, until this very moment, thought that CIA operatives were just agents, like the FBI had agents. I didn't realize there was difference.
Well, you asked, would it matter if you are Weebo and Polly having a conversation on a YouTube stream? No, of course not. I don't think it matters at all. When you're a Hollywood writer that's getting paid 6 figures to make a realistic show, yes, it fucking matters, all right, you dumb fuck. And I don't mean you, I mean the asshole who wrote it. Looking at you, Brandon Braga. Fuck you, man.
Does he have any actual, like, background in
fucking up? Yes.
No, not fucking up. Are you sure you like this TV show, Polly? I'm not convinced.
let me tell you something about Brandon Braga.
Okay.
The show 24 is awesome. It's created by Joel Surnow and Robert Cochran, or Joel Cochran. Surnow and Cochran created a great show, and they were great script supervisors. And as the show had gone on for a number of seasons, they hired other script supervisors and people to be showrunners for the season. And that's when you see the show start to decline and tropes start to be employed, and they bring in other writers, and some of them great, like Manny Cotto, others of them awful, like the aforementioned Brandon Braga. Brandon Braga, fuck that guy, man. That guy needs to be watched. You know, there's certain people out there that are like that they can write a half decent script, but they shouldn't be in charge of shit.
Oh, I can relate. I can relate so hard. You don't understand.
Wait,
the last 2 seasons of the 100 did me dirty. You ever want to be super pissed about something? Watch all 7 seasons of the 100 and like go beyond the 5th season where they should have ended it, where it would have been logical to have ended it, where I would have been okay with them ending it. Go beyond that and delve into seasons 6 and 7. See what happens and tell me that wasn't a massive, massive fuck up of epic proportions. Sorry, since we're talking about TV shows.
It's all right.
I'm gonna
I
step
did,
on my soapbox.
you know, it's funny. Daniel Follman says, "Sure, 24 is good, but it is no cop rock." No, it is no cop rock. But the lead detective from Cop Rock was in season 8 of 24.
Oh my god, you would know that.
How can you be as old as you are and have never seen Cop Rock?
The same
To
way
quote
that I
Okie
could be
native.
as old as I am and not have read The Prince. So
I have a copy of Cop Rock if you want it.
I think, yes, we have talked about this. And yes, I will take you up on that.
I got it from perfectly legitimate sources, and
Of course, naturally.
yeah.
Yeah. Just
I mean,
mail it to me.
It's got it all. It's got Baby Merchant. It's got
I have seen the Baby Merchant scene.
oh, Baby Merchant's great. But you know, as good as Baby Merchant is, it's not the best nor my favorite. It's one of the epic standouts to be sure, but it Be Careful Out There is way better. It's Let's Be Careful Out There is like chat. Search that up. Cop Rock, Let's Be Careful Out There. That's what sold me to want to watch the show. That clip. I was like, I need to see this. I need this in my life.
That reminds me of the next movie night that we have to have. I'm due 2 movies, Polly.
But you said we were going to watch Halloween 2 before.
I mean, we could, but I'm still well overdue at least one.
Yes, it's true. What do you want to watch, Wally?
No, Twisted, the musical.
Oh, that's right. That's right. It's the hurricane on the horizon.
No,
it's coming.
No,
to
not even
take
close.
the house.
Not even slightly close. Not even a. No.
Yeah, it's the hurricane disaster movie as a musical.
No.
You told me.
No, it's not. That's not at all what it is. Not even close.
Who built a shelter? I built a shelter. We go.
Okay. So, speaking of TV shows in the vein of like politics, action, world interests being aligned and then thwarted and then stopped at the last possible seconds, etc., etc. I started watching The Blacklist.
Blacklist.
Have you heard of it?
No, I don't think so. What is that? Guy, it really sounds like your boyfriend's cutting up rails back there, but okay, go on.
He's playing Watch Dogs, was it, babe?
Yep.
He's playing Watch Dogs.
Yeah, sounds like a credit card clacking on glass. But anyway,
Is it that loud? He's just clicking his controller.
it's not that loud. It's just, but that's what I mean. It's just kind of quiet in the background. It's just, never mind. Go on.
He's going nuts.
Never mind the sounds that were going on in my Halloween party. So The Blacklist.
Anywho, The Blacklist. It's so like it centers around the relationship between this one international criminal mastermind, Raymond Reddington, and this absolute noob of a special agent. What's her face? Elizabeth Keene. There we go.
Mm-hmm.
You tell I'm super into this because I can't even remember the main character's name. And the mystery surrounding both of these characters and everyone involved with them, etc., etc. It's an episode by episode kind of plot for the most part, except for the overarching A plot, which is who is this person and what's going on with this person, and like little tidbits of that plot being released throughout the season, with the B plot, the main episode plot happening at the same time.
Mm-hmm.
And basically with the main episode plot, which is all that I really care about for the most part, is Raymond Reddington is giving up some sort of criminal mastermind that he used to be aligned with because they've made his blacklist and he wants to get rid of them and he doesn't like them anymore. So he's giving them up to the FBI.
Okay.
And he's playing all of these like fun mind games. And what's the actor's name who plays Raymond? Can't remember, but you know who he is.
Percy Sutton.
James Spader.
Ah.
James Spader is playing James Spader as Raymond Reddington in this TV show. Quite honestly, I'm only like 6 episodes in. I like it for the episodic element, less so for the overarching story element that they give you, personally. But that's just me, because I don't like to get too invested in a drawn out plot line because I got shit to do.
Too what?
In a plot line because I got shit to do.
No, you said too messed?
Oh, too invested.
Oh, invested. Okay. All right.
I'm up with it.
Gotcha.
You know, something that spans 24 episodes and you cannot step away before having seen all 24 of them in rapid succession.
You have commitment issues. I understand.
I am a chronic binge watcher. And it is to a point where, given the right circumstances, the right TV show, if I'm allowed to, I will do nothing else but watch the thing until I find out what happens at the end.
Uh-huh.
It's bad. It's very bad. So I try to avoid that kind of stuff. And The Blacklist is in that vein of episodic where I can ignore the B plot or the A plot and just focus on the B plot for like 40 minutes straight. But that's probably because I haven't gotten quite into the actual main plot. But I'm surprised you haven't heard of this show. It feels like something that you would enjoy.
Sorry.
You don't have to apologize. I'm not offended, Polly. It's fine, okay? I'm just severely disappointed in you. It's fine. It's good. But yeah, that's what I'm watching at the same time that El Boyfriendo and I are watching iZombie, at the same time that I am also binging Inuyasha, which is an anime. Are you ashamed of me yet? All right, thank you, Shady Grin, for the donation. He says this is money, and Polly's probably off in La La Land doing whatever it is that Polly does when he's not listening to me. Gosh, I hope he's okay. Did the phone ring, maybe? Did his computer die? Shady Grin. I don't know why I donated. I don't know either, but I thank you for it. Yeah, I think Polly might have faded away. Oh, he's back. But kind of. Not really. His microphone sounds like absolute ass.
Oh no, I lost you.
You lost me.
Your screen froze and Weebo is not spelling it. Classic woman. Could be your internet. You don't know.
No, it wasn't my internet because I accepted a donation while you were crapping out there, buddy boy.
Oh, okay. Fine.
All right. Moment of truth. Chat. Who crapped out? Was it me or was it Polly?
Well, Platty says it's all my fault, but I don't believe her.
Yeah, of course it is. How is the potato fund, by the way? Are we nearly there?
Oh. Speaking of which, getting there. So much so that I acquired a desk.
You acquired
to put the computer on.
Okay.
Put the computer on.
Yes. So you're preparing for the inevitable purchase of the potato of the gratin. Sorry.
I mean, I didn't purchase the desk. I got it free.
Oh, okay.
It was on the sidewalk.
Oh, nice. Oh, I love free shit.
It actually had a piece of paper taped to it that said free. And I was like, it was one of those things. So
did you have to get one of your friends to help you pick it up, or like?
No, I got it myself.
You got a big boy car?
No,
You don't have a big boy car.
No, I don't have a truck or anything like that. I had to take the legs off of it to take it, but luckily I have tools in the trunk of my car because I'm not inept.
Of course, naturally,
I got a first aid kit back there and a small tool kit, and I was able to just take the leg. I just flipped it upside down, took the legs off of it, and then I was able to fit it all in my car.
Does your toolkit also carry the very important plastic fork in it?
What?
So
Does your boyfriend's toolkit have a plastic fork?
the one that's in the car that I'm driving right now has a plastic fork in it. And I don't know why. He's not listening to me.
Oh, God. Daniel Fulman says, but Polly, will the mic boom have a better clamp? You're goddamn right it will. No, you fucking right it will.
You need to fork somebody, okay?
You never know when you need to fork somebody. That's what he says.
I think someone's confused. That it's called a mess kit, not a toolkit.
It's called a mess kit, not a toolkit. No, it's mostly tools with the it's okay. To be fair, it's mostly sockets, with the exception of the plastic fork.
That doesn't make any sense. Who put that together? Does it have a ratchet or any? Or is it just sockets?
Yes, it's got a ratchet.
Yeah, you're trying.
And hey,
the toolkit with a fork in it. It sounds ratchet. Yeah,
it's a ratchet set with a fork.
Oh, the white girl missed my joke. Fine.
Yep, I missed your joke. I'm ignoring the joke. But yeah, so does your toolkit carry the very important fork?
No, it doesn't actually.
Wow, you're missing out then.
No, hold on.
Your toolkit is incomplete.
Well, yeah, but I mean, I'm curious. Like, does that fork like have like a slot, or excuse me, does the toolkit have a slot for the fork, or did someone just throw a fork in there?
No, it's like one of those plastic little things with the socket set, and then the plastic covering in between where the socket set sits and the plastic covering for the socket set. There's just a fork wedged in there.
So Dale Fulman gets it. Never you mind why I've got a tarp, gloves, a mask, and a hacksaw on my truck.
Let's see. If I were to construct a toolkit for on the road, the fork would go where the knife and the spoon are in a separate pocket. Not where the socket set is. But that's just me.
Brad Young says the toolkit my truck contains a chainsaw in the wintertime. Why? Like in case like a tree drops a very large branch in the middle of the road? Like I don't.
A chainsaw for in the winter? Like maybe he's got to carve out large chunks of ice snow where he's going. You don't know. There are parts of this country that during the wintertime get super, super like high drifts. Yeah.
No, I get it, but aren't you better off with kitty litter, patches of carpet, and a shovel?
I'm sorry. Kitty litter, patches of carpet. What do those have to do with
winter?
Winter.
The shovel's obvious to help dig yourself out.
Well, yeah, that's why I didn't include it. But the kitty litter and the carpet elude me.
The carpet, in case you're on ice or snow, you can put the patches of carpet like we're talking small right in front of your tire treads. It gives you enough grip to get going because the top of the carpet is what it is, and the bottom of the carpet is usually extremely rough plastic. The kitty litter it's like gravel. It's the cheapest readily available. Like you don't buy any good kitty litter. You buy a bulk box. It's got a handle on it at Walmart. It's cheap as fuck. It's salty, so it will help melt the ice and snow. Kitty litter has a high saline content to it. A box of kitty litter is super cheap salt gravel for getting yourself unstuck.
Good to know. I'll take that with me for the rest of my life.
Yeah. I mean, it's not really necessary unless you live in somewhere like, I don't know, Colorado or wherever Michigan. Yeah.
I'll let my brother know since he lives there. Like 9 months out of the year.
Oh yeah, Brad Young says that it is from falling tree branches. Okay, makes sense.
Oh. Does that happen often in the winter? Is it because of the weight of the snow falling upon the tree branches?
Oh yeah, I didn't think of the weight of this. I just thought of like dry winter conditions and branches falling out. Yeah, weight of the snow. That makes sense. Good call.
Mm-hmm. Huh. Okay.
Yeah, I was talking to Far about the flat roofs, whatever you want to call it.
Roughs.
Yep. Where he lives at, and I'm like, wait a minute, your roof is flat, which is so funny because we just don't have those, right? Because they don't have rain nor snow nor a non-hellish landscape, so they can go ahead and make the
roof is it's weird.
You're weird.
If it did snow, would they have to like climb on this not the ceiling, the roof and just shovel it off, do you think?
That's the school.
Oh God, they'd have to, because I mean, I don't know how quickly the danger of roof collapse would kick in, but you'd have to imagine pretty like, damn, like roofs are not meant to take a lot of weight. Like I wouldn't imagine it would take very much snow to collapse them, if you know what I mean.
No, and part of the reason why like a slanted roof can take a lot of weight snow-wise is because the structural integrity of this, constructive angle thingy allows for such an occurrence to happen without a lot of damage.
Mm-hmm.
That was super scientific, guys.
And like the shingles for the rain and the snow and all of that stuff. And I don't know, it killed me how architecture is dedicated or dictated by environment. Like I'm not saying, hey, why aren't you making pointed roofs or angled roofs? It's like, no, I get it. It just didn't even occur to me to make a house with a flat roof on it.
Mm-hmm.
Because
that makes sense though, I guess, if you don't have rain or snow. Now what if you have rain but no snow?
I'd still say you'd want the angled roof with shingles.
Well, the angled roof, but does the height of the angle change? Does the substance of the shingles change?
Well, Nuke points out that factories have flat roofs everywhere. It's a good point, but somebody tells me they're all steel girder reinforced. So why would they do that? Maximum use of space.
And don't factories also give off a lot of heat, so the snow would just melt anyway? Right? Are you?
Go out. Isn't your boyfriend an engineer? Ask him.
He's precision microelectronics engineer. Babe.
So if it was a really small electric house,
depends on what they're producing, but mostly yes.
Would that melt snow on the roof?
Not necessarily. It's pretty well insulated in most factories.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah, that's a good point. Why would they just allow the heat to just go?
I don't know. You can't span a factory with a pitched roof. It would be one hell of a span. That, yeah, seems about right. I don't know anything about construction. I've never built a damn thing in my life.
You helped build our relationship?
What?
I said you helped build our relationship?
Oh, I thought you said you don't help build our relationship.
Yeah, sure. Whatever you say.
Okay.
So Weebo.
I built one half of one of those shells, though.
Yeah, it shows.
Following the IKEA instructions doesn't count. Okay, anyway.
Hey. Both of you. Very rude. Shame. Anyway, so what were you saying?
Being that it's November 7th.
Yeah.
Christmas season is approaching, so it's time to start organizing my Christmas movies.
What are we watching Christmas movie-wise?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, I need to start organizing because it's going to be as soon as December hits the Christmas season screenings. So, what haven't I seen that I need to see? Yeah. So
have
more
you seen all the Santa Claus movies?
You
With
mean
Tim
like
Allen?
Santa Claus with an E, like Tim Allen?
With Tim Allen?
Yeah.
All three of them?
Reformed drug trafficker Tim Allen. Yeah.
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, look it up. You can find his mugshots. He was busted in an airport with a few keys of blow.
Woo! Anyway.
Yeah, he's just totally got a 70s mustache in the mugshot. It's hilarious.
Ha! All right, hang on. I'm looking it up. Have you seen White Christmas?
Now, what happens in that movie? What's the...
It's basically... Oh, wow, you're right. That is hilarious. He doesn't even look like Tim Allen.
Well, let's all see it. Looking good, Tim.
Look at that boy. Hang on.
Stop using Google image search. Fuck.
Open image in new tab. Look at that.
Yeah, man. If that's not a 70s haircut and mustache, well, god damn it.
He's changed a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he got less fun because he doesn't traffic blow anymore.
You don't have to be trafficking blow in order to be fun, Polydub.
No, but if you're the one bringing the party favors, so no, fun shows up at the party, that's going to impact the fun.
You can bring spinach squares and have just as much fun with your party guests.
Is spinach a euphemism for weed?
No.
Oh.
There's a little, like, spinach triangle-looking things that you put in the oven. They're delicious. They're wrapped in, like, a pastry sheet thing. They're fantastic. Trust me. I know what I'm talking about.
So I did see all the Santa Clauses.
Okay. But you haven't seen White Christmas.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. So what happens in White Christmas?
So White Christmas is a black and white film about two couples, a couple female, I think they're sisters, that are singers, and then a couple soldier gentlemen who also happen to sing. And it's basically the story of how they all get together, kind of, but in the spirit of giving their, I think it's ex-colonel person who was in charge of them in the army, a fantastic Christmas one year at his hotel that he owns.
Okay.
Super charming. It's super adorable. There's music and singing. And the story is super charming. It's like one of those. What year was it made? It's kind of akin to is it not black and white? I guess it's not black and white. But it was 1954 that it came out. And it gives me that same warm fuzzy feeling that a lot of the older Christmas movies that I've ever seen give me.
Okay.
It's good.
I mean, I'm down for some.
It's got a 4 stars on it.
Stuff for other people as well. I'm surprised looking in my Christmas folder and the subfolder for Christmas horror movies that I've only got 6. So if anyone in chat or you, Weebo, can think of a Christmas horror movie that I haven't seen, let me know. All I have is A Christmas Horror Story, 2015, Black Christmas from 1974, Black Christmas from 2006, Krampus from 2015, Santa's Sleigh, S-L-A-Y, from 2005, and Silent Night, Deadly Night from 84.
Bad Santa? It's not really a horror movie, but...
Billy Bob Thornton annoys me.
Okay. Maybe not, then. He already suggested Krampus, babe.
Wow.
Krampus is actually a really good movie.
Is it really that good? I've never seen it.
Yeah, great tension. Looks great. I'm not saying like it's not a blood and guts fest. It's like a tension horror film, and it's good.
Gotcha. Die Hard is always a go-to.
Mm-hmm. No, I've got Die Hard in here, and the Trading Places is a Christmas movie. Most people don't think of it as one, but it absolutely is.
El Boyfriendo suggested Nightmare Before Christmas, if you're down.
I've never seen that.
What?
Yeah, never seen it.
Oh, this year would be the best year to see it. For no particular reason, then I want you to see it now. Like right now. Like once we get off, right now. It's a fantastic movie. The Exorcist is a great Christmas movie. Is it a Christmas movie?
I'm going to say no.
I'm trying to think of the other ones that I watched as a kid. The Grinch Who Stole Christmas with Jim Carrey.
No. One Jim Carrey needs to be mugged.
Okay. That's aggressive. Why
Well,
does
see,
Jim
I've
Carrey
thought
need
about
to be
this. I don't
mugged?
want to wish harm upon anyone. It's like, people are like, oh, I want to punch that guy, or why can't that guy be, and then some sort of harm. One isn't necessarily harmed physically when they're mugged. They're simply, pushed to the ground and have all their belongings taken in Jim Carrey's case, hopefully pantsed.
You're asking a great deal.
Kiefer Sutherland got mugged twice.
Really?
Yeah.
I
was watching an interview, an old interview with him and Jay Leno. Jay Leno was talking about the 3 times he got mugged. Kiefer Sutherland talked about the 2 times he got mugged because they live in Los Angeles. It's mug central.
Really?
Yeah, absolutely. It doesn't matter that they're Hollywood people. The people who are mugging them don't know who the fuck they are. They just rolled up on some jackass who's walking around with a sense of security like the whole world's safe because I live in Hollywood and isn't everything wonderful and everything's peace and loving except for those goddamn racist white people. And all of a sudden, bang, motherfucker, give me your wallet. And they're like, oh, quick, here, let me donate to the revolution.
I've never gotten mugged before. You ever gotten mugged, Polly?
I have not. You're lucky you haven't been mugged.
One?
A whole bunch of girls I know have been mugged. Usually, muggers, they pick people they can get caught unaware or people that are in much smaller stature than them. Most guys that are like 6 feet tall or taller or big dudes, they're not likely to be mugged simply because there's easier targets, is what I'm saying.
Yeah, naturally. I'd mug me. Sorry. The immediate image that came into my mind was that scene from Silence of the Lambs. You know the one I'm talking about, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
See, I mean, Nuke says anyone that believes in gun control and socialism needs to be mugged on the regular. I had a former professor of mine that said, do you know what a liberal is? It's a conservative who hasn't been mugged by reality yet.
Oof. That's fair, though.
Yeah.
I haven't suffered the annals of paying out the ass in taxes. I'd mug me. Weebo 2020. Add it to the iconic quote wall, guys. We're stocking up for winter. But I'm trying to think of other Christmas movies that you like. Or that you need to watch.
I'm just looking through my animated Christmas specials. I believe I have all the Rankin and Bass ones. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6.
Oh, you should watch really shitty Christmas movies.
Well, when I say obscure, that's kind of like there's some great ones that I've discovered on YouTube that I was just able to snatch, like the Nativity Story. It's an animated. It's exactly what we think. Story of Jesus, wise men, no room at the inn, etc. But it's an Australian animated Christmas special short, so it's like half an hour, so it runs like 21 minutes once the commercials are cut. It is hilarious to see, Virgin Mary with an Aussie bogan accent, and it's like all the voice actors are Australian, right? It's like Joseph is Australian. The angel appears to the shepherds and is like, "Oi, a child is born." It's great.
You know what? You know how the Hallmark Channel spends most of, if not half of November and then all of December, running what is essentially the same exact holiday movie over and over and over and over again. If you really wanted to knock as many out as you possibly could, you just leave the Hallmark Channel running constantly throughout all that time, and you'd be set.
Yeah,
because it's literally the same movie over and over again. But
I've watched network TV in the past week more than I have in the past number of months combined, because I was watching the election results coming in, and I'm switching back and forth between ABC, MSNBC, CNN, Fox. I'm just click through the various news channels that have cable stations or cable channels. Anyway, I've seen commercials on network television that I haven't, because it's been so long. Okay, my first question is, what is with these over-polished bullshit network television and Netflix shows? Who the fuck is watching this crap? A lot of police drama and tactical police dramas where people in like SWAT equipment are, overly muscular models and 90-pound weakling catwalk model women that are all wearing bulletproof vests that say SWAT on the front, standing around going, I don't take orders from you. Get out of my face and let me do my job. And it's like, I don't believe any of you. You just like a lot of, I don't even know what the fuck these shows are, who's watching them. And then
they're following a formula. That's what they're doing.
Fucking right they are. But a lot of Hallmark ads. Holy shit, are there a lot of Hallmark ads on Fox, yo?
Yeah.
And it was all like pretty lady comes home for the holidays and dramatic family conflict ensues, but they all learn the true meaning of Christmas. And like,
by the end of it, and she finds the small town gentleman who's secretly super rich and successful, and she falls for him hard, and then she leaves her city job life for a life in the country, barefoot and pregnant in the kitchen.
Well, I don't know if it is about that last part, but
they live happily ever after.
I thought you were
That's all you need to know.
I thought you were going to end it the way that Groundhog Day ends, where, the big city news anchor who's very ambitious, Bill Murray, and then Andy McDowell end up deciding to stay in Pawtucket. Like we just want to be here. What are you giggling at? It's a lovely movie. Fuck you.
Pawtucket. Sorry.
Isn't that what it is? Pawtucket?
I don't know.
Puxatawny.
I've never seen it, so.
What's a Pawtucket? Where the hell did they get that from?
I don't know.
Did I just combine Puxatawny and Nantucket?
Yeah, I think you did.
I've been drinking.
Yeah, I can tell. I can tell.
Have you seen Nestor, the long-eared Christmas donkey?
No.
That's good. That's worth watching.
Where was Groundhog Day filmed? I'm just curious.
Wherever Puxatawny Phil actually is. Like it was filmed like for real down there.
So fun if you don't hear me.
What did you say?
I said outside.
You're right. It's no fun.
Brad Young says Pawtucket is a beer brand from Family Guy.
Those Hallmark movies filmed in the summer, so the coats are never buttoned and they're surrounded by spray snow. Of course.
Oh, I've got a copy of The Nightmare Before Christmas.
You have a copy of it, but you've never seen it?
Yeah, that's right. I'm just, like I said, I'm looking at my subfolder of animated Christmas movies, and there it is, The Nightmare Before Christmas.
I can't believe you have a subfolder for animated Christmas movies. No. That should have its own separate subfolder because it's not animated, all right? It's claymation, and that's very different. And you are disrespecting the fine art of claymation by including that in the category of animated.
All right. Pump your brakes. Look, I'm just all the Rankin and Bass specials are in here, like Rudolph, the stop motion, all of the Rankin and Bass specials. They're not technically animation; they're stop motion animation, whatever. They're all in here. I'm trying to create claymation. There's no clay in Rudolph.
You sure?
Pretty sure.
I'm pretty sure that Yeti was made of clay. No, wait, no, maybe not. That nose, though, that was definitely made of clay. Animation holiday movies.
Wait a minute. Why this
Jack Frost, A Year Without Santa Claus, Pinocchio's Christmas, Rudolph's Shiny New Year, The First Christmas, and Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer.
It's not claymation. There's no clay in it.
I literally just looked up claymation holiday movies. Clay animation, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. From 1964. 47 minutes long.
Where'd you get that from? Like, where's this list from?
Google.
So somebody on the internet said it, huh?
Yeah, why is there anything wrong with that? Look at this. See?
You are listed on Kiwi Farms as an alt-right racist.
Am I?
Well, yeah, it's on as an alt-righter. Yeah, so on Kiwi Farms, yeah. So, but it's on the internet. It has to be true, though, right? God damn it, Weebo.
Oh, are you making a point? Are you being a smartass right now?
I'm
and I'm really ruining it?
I could swing fists if you want.
That'll never get old. Okay, fine. I'll say stop motion. How's that? Is that better?
Yeah, I'm fine with stop motion.
Okay.
A Little Drummer Boy Book 2.
Oh. It's 10 o'clock. We're almost at the 2-hour mark, actually.
No?
I heard XXXmas is pretty good, says Nuke. I'm sure it is! For a very specific audience.
Okay with that. You know what should be watched is the various DC animated Christmas episodes of Batman, the animated series, of Justice League, and so forth. There's a whole bunch. There's like 4 or 5 of them. I got all of them in here.
We should have marathon movie night for that specifically. Because I would watch that with you.
Oh, they're great fun.
Oh, yeah.
The new Batman Superman Adventures, Holiday Nights is the name of the episode. I got to put them all together somehow. Got to give them a different label so they line up.
Did my annual holiday special. I'm holiday special. Out.
What?
My Halloween special.
Oh, the Halloween special. Yeah.
Yeah, that was my annual holiday special. You get no more. Just kidding. I thought about doing a Christmas special last year, but it never happened. But the idea is still floating around out there, and I could do something. But I don't know. I'm still thinking about doing that variety show. I just haven't done anything in pursuit of it. And I have 2 months, and I'm probably going to procrastinate. So I'm not going to make any promises to anybody.
Okay. Christmas comes to Pac-Land.
Yeah.
That's when Pac-Man actually had an animated cartoon back in the day, and this is the Christmas episode.
Oh my
Christmas
God,
comes to Pac-Man. Yeah, absolutely.
Of course. No, I meant serious about not the existence of a Christmas episode for a very obscure TV show, but the fact that obscure TV show actually exists for Pac-Man.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Of course it does.
Oh, you know what? You know what's a legit funny Christmas special is the He-Man and She-Ra Christmas special from 1985. That's it. Really? Yeah, I watched it last year. Holy shit. Orko, the stupid little space wizard that they hang out with, ends up trapped on like regular Earth, not Eternia. He gets in a shuttle to go. I forget what he's trying to do, but he ends up like going through like a time warp or space warp, whatever, and lands on Earth. And he encounters two regular human children. And they're like, we got to get going. Our parents are going to miss us. After all, it's Christmas. And he goes, Christmas? What's that? He goes, you've never heard of Christmas? Like the 2 little kids say. And he's like, no, what is it? He goes, well, it's a time of year that's based in history. See, a long time ago. And then it cuts to Eternia. To like Prince Adam and whatever the fuck, like hanging out. And then when it cuts back, Orko goes, wow, that's the greatest story I've ever heard. Oh fuck! It's like, so you just yada yada the entire birth of our Lord and Savior, did you? Oh,
yeah,
right then.
Yeah, they did exactly that, and you know what? It's okay because you're gonna hear about it this holiday season, regardless, at least 8 times. Sometimes in song form. Let's be clear, all right? Some of them are not good, some of them are fantastic, but you're still gonna hear it about 8 bajillion times.
Well, okay.
One more time is not going to make a difference.
Daniel Follman brings up Skeletor does not want to be nice. Man, you've seen it. Those 2 kids end up coming back with Orko. I forget how, but end up coming to Eternia with him in his little shuttle. And so the Skeletor gets involved, and he ends up having to Skeletor like cross the like this land of Eternity, whatever. They're trapped on a mountain. I forget why. He ends up having to babysit the two kids. Is the short version of the story. He's Skeletor, source of evil, trying to dominate Eternia and kill He-Man and all this. And he's
Don't
having
worry
to deal
about
with,
it. He's got a soft side, just like
What?
every villain.
and they play it out like that. Like this man who has a literal skull head. And it's like, but just be nice. And Skeletor goes, but I don't want to be nice. It's priceless.
Oh god, I love that shit. All right, now I need to see it.
Next 6
Because I've
minutes
never
is
seen
Polly opinion on Justice League of America versus Fatal 5. I don't know what you mean. I'm gonna have to look into that. I'm not sure what you're referring to.
I also don't have an opinion. Because I don't know. Sorry.
Okay, here's a what do you want to call it? Out of step opinion.
Out of step. Go on.
Yeah, against the grain, if you will.
Oh.
Oh, yes.
Misaligned, if you must.
I am a unique iconoclast who marches to the beat of a different drum, Weebo.
Ooh, fancy. He used big 3rd grade level words.
It's a line from Pinky and the Brain. It's
Continue.
My big brain words from cartoons.
Go on.
Uh,
3rd grade level words, by the way, FYI, just so you know.
Etc. Et al.
Continuing.
Mm-hmm.
Go on.
What was I talking about?
You're against the grain perspective on something.
Yeah, people are like, I'm tired of A Christmas Carol. I'm not. I love that story. Always have. It's fantastic. We're talking Charles Dickens. It absolutely works. I love seeing reiterations of it. It's like, well, how many times can you tell the story? And the answer is a lot, motherfucker, a lot.
Many.
Last year we all watched. A bunch of us over in Discord watched the Patrick Stewart version of it because Sir Patrick is a great lover of that story and Charles Dickens in general, and his production studio paid for it to run, and he plays Scrooge, and it was really good. It was really, really good. The animated one, if you've never seen it, A Christmas Carol, done by Robert Zemeckis in 3D motion capture animation.
Mm-hmm.
Fucking fantastic. I saw it in IMAX 3D in the theater. Unfucking believable when Ghost Christmas Past is making Scrooge fly through Victorian London and they're making it around the steeples and the building tops, and in IMAX 3D was unbelievable. But it's very, very good. The Looney Tunes version of it's awesome. The Disney Mickey's Christmas Carol is totally overrated. The Jetsons one is fucking great.
Have you ever watched Barbie and the Nutcracker?
Barbie and the Nutcracker?
Yeah.
No, but I'm going to go see if I can find it right now.
All right, you should. It's probably one of the best Barbie movies out there.
I need a good cheap laugh. Sure, I'll watch it.
It's not just a cheap laugh. It's actually good. It's my preferred way of watching the Nutcracker, which is actually a ballet.
Actually, ballet?
Well, have you ever heard of the Nutcracker? First off, it was originally a ballet. It's a Russian ballet.
Oh yeah, the Nutcracker Suite, etc. Sure.
Yeah, the Nutcracker Suite. So the Barbie and the Nutcracker movie tells that story, but it's not. It has ballet in it, but it's told from a very Barbie movie medium. So the characters are actually talking, which I'm okay with. I like that. And it's good. Weebo Jones, Polly would need a girlfriend with a kid to have seen it. Not necessarily. Just, watch it because it's good.
You mean a girlfriend with boyfriend repellent? A kid?
That's not how we refer to children, Polly. Children are gifts upon this earth.
My ex-girlfriend actually called kids repeatedly fuck trophies.
Oh, I don't like that at all.
I know it's pretty raw, right?
This is a woman you were intimate with. Oh no! This is an ex-girlfriend, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Very, very much so.
This wasn't the chief reason for that, was it?
No.
Okay. Because it kind of be one of those things, trophies. I don't like that at all. Like, here, you got laid. Here's your prize.
To be in her defense, she would always say it with
Jest.
Yes.
Okay, that makes
like
it
the ghetto version thereof is the old keeping the baby.
The old what?
Well, I tried self-censoring there. It's
the
old keep a brother baby.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, okay. Like, I won't deny that there is a dating barrier for single non-children having adults when pitted against previously not single child having adults. Was the initial one non-child having? Did I make that specification?
Yeah,
I think I did.
I'm not sure if you did, but that was what I assumed anyway. So
yeah,
it all worked
so
out.
Like a single parent dating is a lot harder than just a single person dating until a certain age. Like, from what I know about this, which is extensive because both of my parents were single parents at one point in time who actively dated, etc., etc. The age at which people become more open about dating people with kids, it's like, for women at least, it's when they start feeling that biological clock tick. And then for men, I don't know, it's when the women's child is no longer a diapery age, at the very least. And this is not like for every single person, but this is pretty generic observations here. Like, no one wants to raise someone else's kid.
There's a lot to be said for adoptive fathers who stepfathers who step up for responsibility, but then people there's the phrases of cuckery come involved and blah blah blah. I mean, there's so many situations you can name where for both sides there's a short way of saying it. One can come up with examples of both sides where in one case it's a stand-up guy, and overall what he did was noble and wants no reward for it. That's just what he did. And if you didn't get attached to children, well, we'd be dead as a species. The whole point of those little bastards is that you become attached to them.
Well, they're specifically genetically coded to be cute from a young age so that you get attached.
Well, I get that. So I'm not trying to make a claim one way or another. Some people just will always 100% chalk it up to, it's always cuckery. And it's like, yeah, you need to get off YouTube a little bit more.
Well,
just because that phrase has become very, very popular. With that said, I have encountered a number of women where it's like, basically you've got a kid because you got knocked up when you were in your late teens, early 20s. That's why you've got a kid, because you were a dumb bitch. Like it's, and I'm not saying that you regret your child or you would wish your child who's now like 5 or whatever the fuck away. I'm not saying that. It's just don't expect me to step in just because I'm just frankly not interested in that. That's not what I'm looking for. You are not somebody who went through a divorce. You are not somebody who is a widow. whose husband died. You are not somebody, you understand, like all fucking universe of reasons that would be, nobody would ever hold it against this woman. As a matter of fact, would probably only extend her sympathy. With that said, you know what I mean? When I'm talking about the woman who just got knocked up by some dude that was never going to be around. What the fuck is wrong with your head? You know, that's
the sympathy points are a lot less in that case.
Fuck yeah.
Well, the idea of a blended family, even under that circumstance, or if it's not under that circumstance, just in any case, it's weird for a person to step into a position of authority over another person's kid and not have there be some sort of clash either with the child or the parent or the other parent if you're replacing that parent, or if you're not just replacing that parent, if you're stepping in as an add-on, like a third party to that parental-child relationship. The dynamic is
never been there. Wouldn't want to experience it. Have imagined it on the rare occasion where I've seen like women start to date someone where it's like, so you're dating a guy who has kids and he's still very much in his, you know, children's lives, and oh yeah, you're gonna be real popular with the baby mama. You know what I mean? Like it's because women aren't vain and domineering over their children's lives at all. It's that they love when other women like I mean, isn't that the classic stereotype from what I understand? Like it's someone's stepmother trying to tell them how to raise their kids, their own mother trying to tell them, look, when little children are, these are my children, not yours. Women become instantaneously vain about their own children. And I think it's, in a lot of ways, it's a good and just thing. Otherwise, we probably still wouldn't be here as a species if mothers weren't like extremely protective and, you know, like that, vain about their children.
But the other side of that is that it becomes a point of, at times, incompatibility.
Damn right.
And as a result, it can be...
As a guy coming in,
yeah,
it's like, so where's the father? And it's like, in short, the story is that the guy's a deadbeat dad and might show up at any time wanting to see his kids because, God damn it, they're his kids. And it's like, oh yeah, yeah.
Well, in some cases, they don't even have to be a deadbeat. There is going to be tension about a person raising a kid that's not theirs, just because that's not their kid, and the child is going to pick up on that, even marginally so. And it's going to be a card that they play. It's...
I want a clip of that.
Yeah. It's not... The nuclear family dynamic is the nuclear family dynamic for a reason. Anything else, while preferable to nothing, it's never going to measure up to it.
You know what? Let's no, I agree. And let's it's that for a reason. It's not very unstrange for a reason. There's a reason that especially generationally, that grandparents naturally very easily fall into a certain role, where parents fall into a certain role, where cousins and brothers and sisters fall into a certain role. You know what I mean? Like it all just kind of, the chips fall in very predictable ways. And when you're forcing chips to lay on their edge rather than flat, weird things start happening. But that is an interesting segue over into a not related subject at all, but still somehow, because of a phrase you use, the nuclear family. Do you know how Black Lives Matter have scrubbed their website lately?
Have they?
Yeah, man.
I don't know.
Yeah, they removed all of the things to seem much, much, much more mainstream, to palatable to a wider spread audience. That stuff about smashing the nuclear family, getting rid of all whiteness, the idea of productivity and punctuality as being elements of white values. Just the list goes on, and all that stuff is gone.
Huh. I wonder why.
Yeah, why? Like, the one that kills me the most, like all the Marxist stuff, like really, like neo-Marxism, all that shit is gone. Like, get rid of the nuclear family because really, like, the state's your daddy, and you know, I mean, they're not saying that.
State's your daddy.
Yeah, but it play, like I said, they never say that, but it ends up playing out that way.
Obviously, yeah.
I mean, because the goal, I mean, people talk about communism when you know, if you ever actually bother to read Marxist texts, like you read like you know, Das Kapital, the Communist Manifesto, or you know, any of the works in and around contemporary with Marx. The goal of like communism as it is the stateless utopia, the stateless society that exists after everything has been done. after the means of production have been seized, the proletariat and has, all of those situations have played themselves out already. And communism is the utopia where everyone's living in cooperative communes. The majority of your time is leisure time. Mechanization and automation has required you to not work very many hours. The idea of a hardworking underclass that the only thing of value that they have to sell is their labor has been eradicated through automation and technological advancement and stuff. That's communism. You know what I mean? So in the Marx, but that's never going to be reached. It's always over the horizon, right? Yeah. That situation is never really going to exist. That's why people mock it as the communist utopia. So we are communist in that. That is what they have their sights set on, is that utopian vision that's actually never going to be reached. So what you really have is an authoritarian state that wants to control everything, claiming that what they're heading for is that utopia. And we're all going to call each other comrades because we are comrades in arms, comrades in purpose to achieve that ultimate utopian experience, utopian society of classlessness. Okay, well, that's never going to happen, but still, neo-Marxism bears all of the marks of that kind of thinking. Why would you need a nuclear family? The nuclear family is only created out of a class society and a need to pass on wealth generationally. Mm-hmm. Like that's why that particularly is so unpopular within neo-Marxist thinking instead of Marxist thinking in general. So we just smash monogamy. The only reason monogamy exists is because you need to know who is in your family lineage for the passing on of capitalist, pig, imperialist wealth from generation to generation, because you want to know who's in your bloodline. And that's really a thing of the ruling class, not of human society naturally. These are all artificial put-ons by our wealth and means of production controlling betters. And I don't believe any of that.
I don't know. I feel like knowing who it is that is your child is also helpful in the focusing of your attention on the right and the wrong people to care for. Because there's more that you can give a child than your wealth once you die. There's attention that you can give a child as you're alive. There's resources that you can give a child as you're alive that help them grow and become a better person. There are lessons that you can impart onto your children while you're alive. And to focus on specifically your children, as opposed to a wide berth of random other children that you've no idea what your relation to them is, seems like you're kind of spreading yourself thin while you're alive, too. So it's not just a wealth distribution thing. It's a attention and resource and love distribution thing.
Right.
There's more to it. And of course, you as an individual have a finite resource of time that you can dedicate to the relationships in your life. And so you do need to hone it a little bit.
Boom. No, I don't disagree, but I don't disagree with what you're saying. There's value to these things other than the strict materialism with which Marxism would see their stuff. But both, let's see, Gemini and Mr. Rio are broke and can't afford to hand out money to Twitch titty streamers and would like more of your attention, Weebo, and they find me boring. So why don't you giggle cutely at them because they can't afford to get a Twitch streamer to do it for them?
I don't want to giggle cutely. I just spent 8 hours doing that at work.
But should give their life purpose.
No, I don't want another beer.
You also just heard that the whole time you were at work.
You're not wrong, actually. The amount of times I had someone go, "Can I buy you a drink? Can I buy you a drink? Can I buy you a shot? Can I buy you a shot?" If I wasn't on duty.
I take it you're restricted. Yeah, you're absolutely restricted from drinking at work.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That doesn't stop me from smelling like freaking Knob Creek, Kentucky bourbon. Though.
I'll kill him if you want.
Because this guy, he wanted, okay, work story. Ready? You go. Let's go. All right, cool. So this one guy, he's like, we're going to have 3 shots of that Kentucky bourbon whiskey, Nub Creek. All right. And I'm like, you want the regular or do you want the rye? He goes, the regular. So I pull it down from the shelf. He goes, all right, we're going to unleash your bartending skills because I want you to get the shaker out and I want you to make this a cold shot. And I go, okay, that's fine. More dishes for me, but it's fine. That's what I'm here for. Anyway. So I get the ice and I start pouring it shot for shot because it's 3 shots. So I pour 3 shots and I put them in the thing and he goes, first thing he says is, oh, that's a little over. First time I ever heard that. Okay. And so then I go and I grab another glass so I can put it on top of the shaker so I can start shaking it. And he's like, you're doing it wrong. And I go, what? How am I supposed to? You're supposed to be. He gestured and he said something in such a way that made me think, oh, so I'm supposed to turn this upside down, which was a mistake, Polly.
Why?
Because it's spilled out of the cup a little bit because I wasn't holding it tight enough. Because this was just the beginning of it.
Mm-hmm.
Super salty, but at this point, by the way. And then he goes, all right, so then you're supposed to shake it over your head instead of like in front of yourself. So I'm like over my head. Because this guy, he's like, I was a bartender and a bar back and I owned a bar at one point, so I know what I'm talking about. So he tells me you got to shake it like this. And I go, oh, or not like this, but he goes, you got to shake it up and down, up and down. And I'm like, okay, fine. I'm shaking it up and down. And I start getting Kentucky bourbon whiskey all over me. So I smell like a bar. No surprise there. Because I'm trying to like be a smartass a little bit. Because I'm getting irritated at this point. And he goes, let me do it. And so he grabs the shaker from me. Mind you, this is smack dab in the middle of COVID lockdown technically. So he's not supposed to at all. And he starts showing me how to shake it. He's like, you got to shake it gently, but vigorously. And I'm just like, I just want to give you your shot and let you go. So he pours the shots. And he's doing it with all of the like, the extra flair.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know a girl got fired from a bar from doing the multi-pour across several shot glasses.
Seriously?
Yeah. She said like whatever it was, 5 or 6 shot glasses. And they had the pouring spouts on the bottle. And she just set them down on the pour mat and poured across. And you're going to get some fucking spill. She got fired for that.
Yeah, no, my bosses don't really care about that so long as I bring in customers somehow.
They were super stingy about pouring amounts and no lead hands when it comes to pouring. And she had been warned before. It's not like it came out of nowhere. She was free pouring instead of measuring.
Yeah.
And that was apparently the final straw, was pouring 5 or 6 shots at once, like across the glasses.
She's a good bartender. Why fire her? Don't be so stingy with your alcohol. That's not how you get more customers.
No, if you're into ultimate portion control in that way, I guess that's like some kind of severe transgression.
That's stupid. But yeah, so that was a fun experience at the bar. I also, in my day job, the IT tech support one, I had this email exchange with a woman back and forth. She's having trouble getting into our like clocking in software. Reason why is because she's not on location and she's not using a VPN and she hasn't started yet. She just wants to make sure that she can access the website before she's actually on the job, which is not how that works. Mm-hmm. So you're blocked from actually accessing the website from an out-of-network network. But I wasn't sure. I'm like 99% sure that is the issue because that's what I'm like 100% sure that it is about. So I ask her, I go, what network are you using to connect to the internet with? Or like, what is the name of the network you're using to connect to the internet with? Because there's a very specific network name that you're supposed to connect to in order to get access. And Polly, she said Google Chrome.
Nice.
In response to my question. So then I asked her, from where, like what location are you attempting to access this website from? And she said yes.
All right.
That was all she said. I don't know what to do with that. Polly, I don't know what to do with that. Like, how am I supposed to help this person? Yes. Anyway, so that was my week.
Hold on, just sorry, my internet connection dropped down to fucking 0 there, and then I thought I was going to disconnect, but I didn't. Okay, problem, disaster averted.
How do I reach these kids? Nomadic autist. How do I reach these kids? I don't know what that means. How old is this person? I don't know. They just got hired on. It's not as like a after retirement position. It's like a career position, if that makes any sense. Because there are differences between the positions that you can hold in the company that I work at. There's like the just starting out position, which is where I am. There's the career position, which is where you can move up to. And then there's the, once you retire from the career positions, like part-timey type stuff. This is a more career-esque position. So I'm assuming, like, this is something that you could do for the next 20 years and retire with. Gil Cotto says, Weebo Jones, I feel your pain. I wrote some instructions up for how to use video configuring software. I tested it out on a few users. Worked well. Then I hit the magic user. What is Chrome? I get that there are people who don't know a lot about technology. I do. But then there are the people that just don't read what I email them at all and then respond back with just some nonsense. And that is where I die a little bit inside. Every single time.
Man, the frustrations are building with the new job.
Yeah. It's okay. I have the ability to advance. It's not forever.
Well, as a wise person once told me, don't get angry. Keep an updated CV.
Yes.
To apply to other jobs.
Of course, naturally. That reminds me, I should probably update my CV. Gokado, they weren't a corporate machine. There is literally a Chrome shortcut on the screen by default. Like, they can't erase it. And yes, that's so frustrating. But at the same time, it's like, well, maybe they just never looked at the actual name of what that application is. Like, it's just an icon. The only way that you would know what this thing is if you held your mouse over it and you saw that it was StreamYard - Google Chrome that you were looking at. Or is it the update? I mean, it's not like these people are purposefully going out of their way to download their preferred web browser. No, they're just using the default web browser, and that's it. So long as they can access the internet, they're fine. And they can't even do that properly. You know how many times I had to tell people this week who had lost connection to their internet, Hey, have you tried restarting it? Have you tried disconnecting from your Wi-Fi? No? Try both of those things.
Actually, Fullman asked a good question. Can you do that from where you're at? Mirror their screen to your screen? Is that
Yes,
something you can do?
sometimes.
Yeah.
If they're not connected to the internet, I can't do it. And depending on the type of device that they have, I can do it a lot more easily than not. Some users have devices where they have to allow me to access remotely. So there are a few steps to get to that point. And the software for that specific remoting process doesn't allow me to actually manipulate anything. It also doesn't allow me to remote until they've read me like a 9-digit code and allowed me and shared with me. And it's also kind of grainy and slow, so it doesn't work very well. But for the other half of the company user base, their devices are on a software that's extremely easy to use so long as they're connected to the internet. I just remote in and I start doing shit, whatever I want. The only problem with that is if they're using more than one screen, it gets a little confusing if I don't realize it initially and they don't tell me. So I could be doing something, I could be clicking on something to get it open, and it'll appear on the other screen, and I'll be like, why is this not fucking working? They go, oh, it's working. It's on the other screen, though. And I go, yeah, Gilcado, I added a screenshot showing how to open Chrome with a giant red arrow added to the screenshot. You know, okay, it's funny you say this, because if there's one thing I've learned from this position is that when you are explaining something to a person, you have to do so not using the technological terminology that you're familiar with. You have to use image and shapes and general position terminology. Like, okay, navigate, please, to the bottom left-hand corner where there's the little icon that looks like a window, and launch your start menu. And then simply begin typing. Type the following. And you have to spell it out for them. And then you have to go press enter. Not select, not go, not, yeah. Press enter. And then you select this thing and you double click it. Double click the right mouse or left.
Well, you should be happy to know I have never called tech support. I'm not one of those guys, except for the one time that I called the people at Audible. That's the one time that I can actually remember calling tech support.
Oh, Daniel Fullman. Weebo, what happened to the lady who thought her ex-husband was controlling her kids through the computer? That was the story. Okay, so my coworker, he had the misfortune of receiving a call that he was transferred from our main office, because half the user base only get access to tech support, or to us, if they've reached out to main building secretaries and whatnot for references. Because a lot of the questions that are asked of us can be answered by some of the secretaries, like, how to clear my browsing data. Sometimes they slip through, of course, and we have to troubleshoot some shenanigans. Mostly what they call about is password resets, and so we do those. Anyway, so he gets the misfortune of being transferred. This lady. He spends the next 45 minutes on the phone with her, explaining to her exactly the things that, you know, she has very specific questions about, like, why is this Chromebook being controlled by this administration person? Because it says so specifically on the web browser where it is that they're using it, or on a specific application. It says, or it lets you know, it's a disclaimer of who is in charge of the property that you are using, essentially.
Right.
And so our kids were using it. And they were logged in, and it was a whole thing. And she's just freaking out because she's like, my ex-husband, I was not there for this. But she's freaking out. She's asking my coworker a whole bunch of questions about every single little thing. And he is just dying slowly, so slowly. And then he goes, okay, I need to actually go. I have a meeting coming up here shortly. He didn't. But he had to get her off the line because we were super busy that day anyway. He could not spend 2.5 hours on the phone explaining to this lady every little possible detail about everything all of the time. So he had to get her off the phone, and he gave her his email.
Ooh.
And she started sending him rapid fire barrages of just innocuous screenshots of things that she didn't understand without context, mind you. So it was just screenshots, just random screenshots of whatever with the subject line of anything with question marks, a lot of question marks. So he forwards them off to our boss. The next day, I'm perusing through our home support form for those people that are working remotely. I happen to come across this lady's email. I don't know that it's this lady, by the way. So I email her troubleshooting steps to get her to where she wanted to. Little did I know that this was that woman. And so what I thought had been a simple matter of a password reset turned into another barrage of random screenshots and nonsense. So I forwarded it off to my boss. And the next day, he comes in and he goes, so what was the core issue that she was having? Because I'm about to get on the phone with her to sort this all out. And I need some sort of prompting. So this lady literally went to the whole speak to your manager phase without actually requesting to speak to the manager.
Mm-hmm.
That was how Karen this lady was, but in a crazy, psychotic way. So she's actually a known, like, entity in the company. My boss, my boss's boss, the other longer tenured help desk person that's been there for a while, they all know about her. There's a file with her name on it. Apparently, her husband used to be an Apple Genius worker.
Oh my.
And as a result, she thinks that he has, because she doesn't understand technology at all, she thinks that he has this in anywhere that tech is involved and the ability to hack in such a way as to control her life, her children's lives, everything digital that they have to come in contact with. So she's extremely paranoid about this. That's why she's being so persistent in her inquiries with myself and the other guy.
Mm-hmm.
And this has been something that she's had phone calls, sobbing phone calls with my boss's boss over previously. So luckily, I never actually had to talk with her on the phone, but oh my gosh. Anyway, so my boss called her. He spent about 40 minutes to an hour on the phone with her before he was like, I actually have to go to a meeting now. So we'll take care of this. We'll make sure it's all sorted out. I don't know if it's done yet, but as of right now, it's kind of in limbo. And that's the whole story. It's so much. I wish I could go into greater detail, but I'm trying so very hard not to go into too much detail. That would get me in trouble, you know?
I hear you.
And that's part struggle. Weebo versus the Queen Karen. It wasn't so much Karen-esque as it was just nuts. Absolute nutty.
She didn't want attention. She was just, crazy.
She just didn't understand anything. And I commend her for reaching out and trying to understand stuff, but it was at a level that was excessive. Like you don't email tech support 20 million screenshots with no context with the, I don't know, help question mark highlighted at the bottom being the subject matter, or like just you don't take something innocuous and take a screenshot of it and go and ask help desk, what is this? Or just give it to them. There was just no point. It was it's giving me a headache even thinking about it now. Thanks, Daniel Folman, for having me bring it up. I didn't want to talk about it. It's so bad. I tried to sum it up as best as I can while still being hilarious, but that doesn't do it justice. Anyway.
Can we wrap her up in the next 2 minutes and at 1:45?
Yeah, certainly.
Oh,
I'm getting tired, and it's almost Weebo's pumpkining hour, so.
Wow, man, you are really early to bed.
It's almost 11, Polydub.
No, fair enough. All right. Shit, let's not freak out.
Are you mocking me?
Little, but if you're this cranky when you're tired, maybe it is bedtime. You might stay here forever, Gilcott. Well, Gilcott, you just showed up, or you might have been lurking up until now. I don't know.
Sounds like my will to live, incessant and unwanted, says Celethor the Blind. Yep. I will say this, though. I do love my job. The amount of people that thank me at the end of a call is a lot more than I expected it to be when I started working there. Because I got a lot of people at the company who were like, oh, this is a thankless job. No one ever thanks you. And yeah, technically, the higher-ups of the company never thank tech support in any capacity. But everyone else that calls tech support, they're always super thankful, which keeps me going.
BG's, going to bed at 11, you're practically in your late 30s. Yeah, well, I have noticed this in most of my friends. IRL, Weebo, far developing what Zelthor and I have coined the lols, little old lady syndrome.
I am a little old lady. The glasses didn't give it away.
That's what I'm saying. It's knitting, crocheting, making preserves for the grandkids right around the corner.
Yeah. Actually, instead of crocheting, I've been, I haven't been, but I bought like an embroidery thing so I can practice embroidering.
Like needlepoint?
Yeah.
Sweet. I guess.
Because I think it's more unique than just crocheting sweaters.
You making some, pillow covers? What are you doing?
I think the ultimate goal is to make a freaking pattern comforter.
With needlepoint?
With needlepoint, yeah.
Huh.
Like, the comforter would just be, originally it would just be just one giant white thing. But then, over time, I would have sewn some really cool designs into the comforter. Or is it the duvet? Is the duvet the cover for the comforter, or is the comforter the duvet and the internal thingy?
I thought they were the same thing. You're trying to tell me the duvet's the zipper bag cover that a comforter goes in?
I think so. Duvet. A duvet is a type of bedding consisting of a soft, flat bag filled with down feathers, wool, silk, and synthetic alternative. They're called duvet covers.
There you go. So what you're making is a duvet cover or a comfort cover. A comforter cover. Yeah.
Yes. What is the difference between a comforter and a duvet?
Ponciness.
A duvet is a soft, flatter version of a comforter that is usually filled with synthetic fibers or down such as feather or wool. Unlike a comforter, they're not supposed to be quilted or stitched. Duvets are usually warm enough that you don't have to use additional sheets or blankets with them.
Additional feathers required.
Additional feathers required. Yeah.
Man, the regular sheet, like the thin sheets, like ex-girlfriends, current lady I'm seeing, they absolutely insist upon having the layered situation going on. They have multiple pillows.
Oh my god. Are you about to entertained me with a conversation that I've already had with El Boyfriendo like 8 million times.
The non-functional pillows, the decorative pillows that get put there.
We don't have decorative pillows, but we do have sheets, damn it.
Well, see, I don't. I just use the straight up. I've got 2 comforters, one for regular use, 2 for when it's cold.
Made it.
And those sheets, all they end up doing is getting twisted around my legs anyway when I toss and turn from random nightmares and stress dreams. So, I mean, there's just no functionality to them.
Well, you at least have like a sheet that goes over the mattress, right?
Of course.
So
I'm not a caveman.
You had a duvet cover.
Was it a fabric that went over the bed? Yes.
It didn't fit over the mattress. It was not a fitted sheet.
No, it was over the bed.
No,
it was over the entire bed.
No, it did not fit over the entire bed.
It absolutely fit over that. It covered the entire bed.
Do you at least have a mattress cover?
What do you mean?
Like, okay, so there's the sheet that goes around the mattress.
The padded mattress cover?
Not the padded mattress cover. It's the thing that goes in between the sheet and the mattress that protects the mattress from, like, you get so shit-faced that you accidentally piss yourself while you're asleep.
Jesus fucking Christ, Weebo. No, I don't have a piss cover. I just... For Christ's fucking sake. No.
I feel like it would do you good.
It's never been an issue. What the fuck are you doing with your life? What is... That's crazy. No, I do have the padded quilted mattress cover that I bought it at Walmart for cheap because I just wanted the mattress to be extra comfy. And then there's the sheet over that and then a comforter. That's it. That's my entire bedding situation. We're over at the lady friend's house that I'm currently seeing. Oh, she's got the decorative pillows, the throw pillows, the regular sleeping pillows. She's got 3 sheets. There's like the thin, like this is above the mattress now. It's got like the thin sheet, right? And then some medium-sized fleece sheet, and then a comforter on top of it that is in a duvet bag. And the skirt, the bed, the stupid bed skirt that hangs around the edge.
Yeah.
It's way too complicated of a bed situation, man.
Yeah, no, if she's got a bed skirt, she ain't worth it. She's too high maintenance.
that's the line right there.
Step out. But she at least contrast that with there needs to be a fitted sheet at the very least.
Well, yeah, the fitted sheet covering the mattress. Yeah. What was he sleeping on before? Like he just threw one comforter down and then
I got him a duvet cover because my dumbass thought it was like the full shebang, with the duvet and the duvet covered. It was like an actual blanket.
Right.
No, that was not the case.
You just put the duvet cover over the whole mattress?
Yeah, and then he used a separate blanket to sleep on top of it.
That's just adapting and overcoming. I'm okay with that. I mean, he kind of had a sheet.
Worked, okay?
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
Holly's commending you. He says, you're just adapting and overcoming.
I mean, it worked. Like,
you guys are such guys.
I was able to sleep and comfortably.
Men!
I was staying over at my friend's house one time, and he had an old school mattress, one of the ones with buttons, the mattress buttons.
Yeah.
Man, I have
number?
never slept on a mattress like that before, and those are friction finders. Somehow your elbow locates those fucking mattress buttons throughout the night. It's just awful. Yeah. And Gilcado says, was the bed skirt part of the bed frame? No, this was a separate thing that she bought, this lacy, frilly, undulating thing that goes in between the box.
Undulating.
Well, it's got like the waves in it, like to,
yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Not pleated exactly, but.
No, I know what you're talking about. It looks like a skirt.
Yeah.
It's got
frills. And it goes in between the mattress and the box spring. And it's, and it matches the sheets and the pillows and the so forth. And then after the whole thing is, her entire bed has been made, and then you Weebo will love this. Then the stuffed animal gets sat there,
Okay, we do have stuffed animals on the bed, and it's not just my stuffed animals. Okay, El Boyfriendo has his own stuffed animal.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. What's wrong with stuffed animals, Polly?
Don't strain your neck.
There's absolutely nothing wrong with having a stuffed animal on your bed.
I'm just trying to describe the situation that I'm looking at accurately. I mean, whereas
Do you not have a stuffed animal?
no,
Lame.
I have a nightstand with a gun in it.
I mean, same. You can also have
Okay.
a stuffed animal.
Well, I was just saying my sleeping situation's rather minimalist by design. I don't make my bed. You know why? Because I'm just gonna have to make it again the next day.
You don't make your bed?
Fuck no. Fuck no. Make what? It's a comforter. What's to make? I mean, do you want me to just like and kind of straighten out the comforter? Like, I guess I could, but why?
Well, because the bed is multi-purpose. You don't just lay down in it. You could also use it as like a place to hang out other than sleep. You can sit on that bad boy, or you can use it to fold laundry, etc., etc.
I'm a guy. I don't have friends over where we sit on my bed and play with the Ouija board and braid each other's hair. What the
No,
fuck
you
are you?
could just sit on your bed by yourself.
No, I've got other rooms for that.
You have other rooms for sitting. Oh, who's high maintenance now?
Oh, Daniel Fulman asked, do you have a chair where all this stuff goes when you go to bed? I have a chair that has an unbelievable amount of clothes laying over the back of it. And at one point it tipped over on its own because of it. Kate Pencil really wants to know your favorite sci-fi movie.
Mine?
Uh-huh.
Oh gosh, no pressure. Babe, what's my favorite sci-fi movie?
Firefly?
That's a TV series.
The movie it's based off of.
Serenity?
Yeah.
I hated that movie.
Well, you told me you liked it, so.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
Yes, you did.
Mm.
Because that's all we would watch with your friend whenever she was over. You're like, yeah, that's right.
Literally, who are you talking? Never mind.
Yeah, duh, idiot.
All right. Since a boyfriend was wrong,
I'm not wrong.
I guess you're wrong. Favorite sci-fi movie?
In the meantime, Gil Cotto has a king-size bed. Kind
The
of jealous.
Matrix?
Oh yeah, first one? Yeah.
Yeah, the first one was pretty good. It changed my life. You know, it was my black pill moment, basically. Yeah, I hated Serenity. And the reason I hated Serenity was because I didn't think it did the actual TV show justice. It made me sad. It was not the way that TV show should have ended. It was lackluster. That being said, I have it on DVD. I think it's actually sitting on that shelf, if I'm not mistaken. Oh wait, maybe I am mistaken. It's not on that shelf. I don't know where it is. Okay, K Pencil is not happy with my declaration. I'm so sorry.
Neither is Zelthor. If it's not Return of the Jedi, you ain't real, which is weird because I would have thought that a hardcore Star Wars fan would be, that's not science fantasy, or that's science fantasy, not science fiction.
Actually, I want to change my declaration. The Star Wars Holiday Special is my favorite sci-fi movie.
We got to do a screening of that. Speaking of, somebody mentioned that way earlier in chat. We were talking about holiday specials, and we got to do the Wookiee edition part 2.
Totally. Yeah. Polly, we are much over time from where you said you wanted to stop the stream.
Yeah, no kidding.
So
all right.
Shall we close out?
Yep.
Before this goes into 4 hours?
Yep.
Okay. Thank you guys for joining us this fine evening while we talk and ramble on about literally everything and anything. I hope you guys enjoyed the conversation to be had here this fine evening. I know I did. Polly, did you?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Good. Do you have anything that you would like to shill?
Just my channel. So go there and enjoy it. It's awesome. Fun things happen there. Yay.
Yeah. His links are all in the description, so if you so choose, proceed, ladies and gentlemen. Then I guess my only thing that I have to shill is next week's episode, and then the Discord. At this moment, I don't have a video that I foresee being live by next Saturday yet. I'm working on them, but yeah, nothing to shill in that department. I might do a live stream at some point later this week. We'll see. I haven't decided on if I will or not, so we'll see. Movie night is this week on Wednesday. We actually haven't talked about what movie to watch, so that'll be very interesting. I think.
Do you have a copy of this?
What?
Hurricane musical?
It's on YouTube. It's just.
Oh,
it's
is it?
like,
Oh shit! Okay.
You can just watch it on YouTube.
Cool.
The full thing is on YouTube. Yeah.
Right.
That's how we were gonna watch it originally.
All right. I didn't realize. I mean, it's crazy how many movies are actually just full on movies up on YouTube. There you go. Go watch it. I've found a number of like Red Letter Media movies that I'm like, how the fuck am I ever going to find this? I'm going to have to go searching around in like the bottom of torrent sites and stuff. And like, nope, it's up on YouTube. It's like, oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So movie night is this Wednesday. We have no idea what we're watching, but it should be fun. Movie night's always a great time. Other than that, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back here next Saturday. Same time, same place, same otter, same face. I hope you guys had a good time, and we'll see you when we see you next.
Have a good night, everyone.